Hey, I'm Craig Button, and you're listening to Missin Curfew, so don't miss it.
Big fella, the boys at Canada CBD are still at it. They are launching,
Lip boomers.
just absolutely launching tins of cannabis chew all over the USA.
I want to say something about Canada lip boomers because I throw them in all the time. I got one in right now. I think we need a Missin Curfew flavor, but that's for another time. I went to the dentist. 6 months I haven't been chewing. I've been chewing fucking lip boomers. The dentist, hygienist, is that what you call her?
Was she hot?
She was a very nice older lady.
Okay.
She said, wow, in the 6 months, your gums have improved tremendously. So CBD, lip boomers, throw them in. And listen, girls don't care if you chew lip boomers because it's not tobacco too. So for you guys out there,
steal them. That's
your
the
girlfriend's all over you, lip boomers.
Throw a couple tins in her stocking. Make
Tell her to
happy.
throw a lip boomer in. CBD, it heals the lip. I love them.
So our friends at CanadipsCBD.com use the promo code CurfewCali for 20% off your order. Great stocking stuffers for you and the lady.
If anyone's out there wondering what to get me, throw some lip boomer Canadips in my stocking stuffer, and you're good with me all year long.
Charlie boy, don't go to war.
Welcome back to a fresh new episode of Missin Curfew. I'm Shane O'Brien.
And I'm Scotty Upshaw.
Fellas, it's Princey coming to you from beautiful winter Alberta.
Fucking the
Yikes.
COVID is running wild through Alberta.
It sure is.
The lockdown is not working. The vaccines are not working. The boosters are not working.
They're having
It's
a
a
fucking
shit
heyday,
show.
aren't they?
We're going to get into that. We're going to get into it. I'm going to tell you how I really feel about COVID. I don't give a fuck what people think anymore. I'm going to tell you how I feel later in the show, up dog.
Good. It's
The
the way I
mount-
felt the whole time, Holmes.
The Mountain Man is back.
Yes,
I'm
I
back.
am back.
How you doing in Aspen, buddy? How's everything coming along?
It's great, fella. It was a lot of hard work. I got put to fucking
I was just happy you made her safe and sound.
yeah.
How was that U-Haul coming up the mountain, the final stretch?
It was great. I got a 5-hour ride into Vegas. I caught a burger. I let the dog out to pee. I had Riley with me. And so we had In-N-Out Burger right outside T-Mobile.
Now
and
you're
I had the
talking.
game on, right? I had the game on. I was listening to our boy, who's our boy?
Gary Lawless.
Big boy. I was listening to
Big
Gary. Gary was on Sirius NHL Radio. So I was listening to the game outside, eating my burger in my car, and Vegas scores. I roll down the window. I could hear literally across the highway, T-Mobile, just the fucking horn that, like I could hear it. So I had a burger there, and then we cruised on. I did like 16 hours of driving because you couldn't go too fast. The fucking thing was full to the gills.
Fuck, I know, buddy.
I had the U-Haul
I don't think
full
you
to the
realize
gills.
how I was reasonably concerned about your well-being.
Yeah.
Like I thought you thought I was just joking around, but I really wasn't. I'm like
Nah,
I
it was
I
good.
know that you're a good Western leaguer / newfie that likes to fucking take things into his own hands. But I was like going up the mountain, the fucking tires on that U-Haul when I saw it at your house, they were fucking paper. They were like
They're
pizza
little
cutters.
tin.
They were like this. I'm like, are you gonna be okay? So I was concerned, but when you made it there, I was relieved.
Yeah, no, it was something I had to do. I had to get up there. I had to bring some stuff. We moved into the new house, and it was a lot of unpacking boxes. I'm telling you, having a girl that has an addiction to shopping and
She's
to
got some
clothes
swag.
and to shoes. It was her whole life in New York forever. So quite impressive to see just the amount of stuff that showed up and what we were able to get through in only a couple days. But we set up Izzy's room. She's got the crib. She's rocking and rolling. Daddy put new blinds in there. Fucking things set up, man. Things are good. Wait till you see the couch and TV set up.
I'll
You're gonna love
I'll break that couch in for you.
Over
I
New
did
Year's,
see.
we're gonna have a little, watch some games, and it'll
I
be
did
good.
see. You treat yourself to a nice piece of steak and a salad there the one night. I think once you finally got settled in and the TV was on the floor, I said, "Hey, Upshaw, let's get that TV on the wall, fella." Hey, that's not like
Well,
you.
guess where the steak came from?
I have no idea.
It was the fucking cow that I bought. I
Did you bring it
stockpiled
with
it. I
you?
brought a cooler of meat up there. I did. I had some bacon the next day. Organic beef, bud.
Yeah, maybe you're onto something here. You played for one of my former teams.
I did.
You went into another alumni game for a team that you didn't play for, but whatever. You were out there lighting it up. How are the boys doing? Was Quincy out there?
Quincy was there. He's good.
How was his
He
foot
was in
speed?
flow state. He was doing what me and Cote were doing in Philly. He had a nice little microdose going. It was a great group of guys. I got to be honest. We had dinner at Caribou Club, as
Great
you know. Great spot. Johnny Michael Lyle set that up, and it was a lot of your old teammates. Johnny Mitchell was there.
Mitchie, good
guy.
guy.
Likes to
Real
drink his
good
beers.
guy. Yeah.
But I hung out. David Clarkson was there. He'd lived in Aspen for years down the stretch. He's got 5 kids, but now he's
kids?
He's got 5 kids, Clarkson. That's crazy, right?
That's insane.
So he was there. He lives in Denver now and runs a hockey program with old Kenny Klee there. Kenny Klee and I played together in Phoenix
I
for
can't believe
Gretzky.
you played with him. I watched Ken Klee play for the Leafs.
Yeah, he played
When I
900 games.
Yeah, when I was playing junior hockey for Kingston and St. Mike's, Ken Klee was patrolling the back end for the Buds back then. You played
Good
with
guy.
him, huh?
Yeah, good guy. We laughed a little bit, and then all the guys were telling these stories about how he went on a stretch. I think he got like 40 or 45 icings in a row, basically, where he couldn't make a pass. And Quenneville was his coach at the time, and he just kept yelling at him like, just fucking rights, Kenny, attaboy, like just clapping at him.
Way to slow her down, Kenny. Way to slow her down.
You got to be doing something right if the boys are all having fun with you for so many icings, you know.
That's when you know you're a good locker room guy, because there's
Great
nothing
locker
worse
room
than icing the puck. There's no worse feeling than icing the puck.
Yeah.
Say what you want. I was nowhere near an offensive defense, but I took pride in not icing it. And speaking of icings, I was watching the Canucks. We're going to get into them a little bit later. Play the Hurricanes the other night. And there was 20 icings in the fucking game. 20. Shorthouse and Garrett. It's really all they could talk about because there was no flow. There was no nothing. And I asked you before we went on the show, and the veteran you being, I asked you, what's the average? What do you think the average is for icings in the NHL? And you said
8.
Yeah, it's 8
Give
or
or
9.
take.
Give or take. 20
If I'm
fucking
out there,
icings.
maybe a couple more. Though I'll hunt that fucker down. There's no way I'm fucking letting the guy beat me to that.
You had the old rules. You were like the word. You were a defenseman's nightmare because you would ice it, and I know you were going to chase me right to the fucking.
you know what happens when I chase you down.
Honestly, with that rule is a good rule because there's lots of things that are scary in the NHL. But as a defenseman, when you're going back for a biscuit, and I had guys like you going 100 miles an hour, I'm like, it happened to Curtis Foster.
Curtis
He
Foster
broke his
rule.
leg. and
I
all-
would say it's called the Curtis Foster rule, and that's as bad as it gets.
Did you get any runs in the mountain, or were you just out there?
I
You had
got
5
one
goals in the
full-
O2
so yeah,
later.
yeah, I got
Are you a little
5
concerned
goals.
you're not going to get invited back to these Alumni
I'm talking-
games?
hey, by the way,
if
Izzy
you
was
keep
there.
lighting it up, they're going to be like, get this up, Shaw out here. He's lighting it
I
up.
fucking was feeling it, so I don't know what
The
it is.
thin air didn't get you or what?
I think I still got it. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you, but I don't know if the guys are slowing down or I'm speeding up, but I still got it.
No,
It's something special. I don't work out either. I don't fucking train.
there
I
you
don't
go.
do anything.
There you go. That was
Mix
the problem.
in some, extracurricular in the bedroom sometimes, but that's about it.
The question is, could you play back to backers if you had to?
Fuck,
no.
no.
I guess you did with the charity event and then Philly, or did you have a day off in between those games?
No,
You
I
had
didn't.
one
I
day
had
off.
one day off, but you know what that was? That
Travel
was
day.
Sunday. That was the Sunday football mixed into the karaoke, so there was no recovering there.
You didn't have the legs up with the what are those things called? You used to love the
Normatex. The goddamn Normatex were nowhere to be found. Neither was the cold tub. It was just ice cold beers and cheesesteaks was what I had before that game.
That's the Philly special there.
But no, it was awesome. I do have to say, for my boy Jimmy Hayes, who was fucking looking down on me, I went
Scoopsy.
bar fucking cheddar cheese Mexico on Curtis McElhaney.
Curtis McElhaney, that guy was just in the league at the
I
start of
know
the year,
he was.
wasn't he?
Yeah, I fucking roasted him.
What's he doing? Did he play for the Avs?
No, he lives in Denver. He asked.
just won 2 cups?
He asked about you. He just won 2 cups. You're damn right about
Yeah,
that.
I know that, but he lives in Denver too.
Yeah,
Fuck.
yeah. A lot of guys in Denver. A lot of guys.
Is it a good tax state?
He's
or why is
actually,
everyone living there?
it is in a way, but he's living like kind of outside. I think he's in like somewhere near maybe Vail, up in the mountains.
Yeah, Vail's
I know he
so
mentioned
nice.
it to me one time, but fuck, he's a big boy in net there.
Yeah, so you got one.
But
Okay,
I
so
yeah.
I
Listen,
was going to chirp you about the quality of the goaltending in the Alumni games because you're saying you're back. But if you,
What I told you,
he
I
was a
went
backup
fucking
last year.
I went corner bar in front of Izzy, and it was like daddy fucking,
I saw
how
her out
are
on
ya?
the ice with you. Yeah,
Yeah, it was great. It was good. So I'm starting to really enjoy these alumni things.
it makes me wonder of my time in Colorado how good of an Avalanche I was, seeing how you got invited and I didn't. So I'm not sure. I'm not sure what's going on here.
I do know
Fucking-
this. Johnny Michael Lyle said he texted you and you didn't hit him back. Do you know that?
I probably don't have Johnny's number saved in my phone.
I think that was it. And I said, listen, Obes is not a guy not to text you back.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it's a wrong number or he doesn't have yours, but
Fuck.
But Obes now, he's on it. I basically told him he's on it. This is 3 years ago when Obes was really running hard. There's no chance he's texting you back.
Well, Johnny Mitchell, he hit me up in the Twitter and said, hey, keep me in the loop for the next game.
Yeah. It's a good time.
I go, if not, next time I'll just get Upshall to wear my O'Brien jersey and fucking no one will know the difference out there.
I wore number 10.
10. Did
Yeah.
they give you your own jersey too, Colorado, with your name and everything?
Just said Alumni on the back.
Oh, that's nice. That's
Yeah,
nice. So they got a good alumni going up there. They're doing a good job.
They're trying to. They have no support, and I'm going to throw this out there. They got no support from the Avalanche. So
Really?
it's tough. I mean, they're just putting this together themselves. I mean, there hasn't been a history of it. And look at the guys in their alumni.
Yeah.
Patrick Waugh, Forsberg, Sakic, fucking Hayduk, all the guys. Like, I mean, there's millions of
Sean
them now.
Podine.
Now mostly Sean Podine. Who else could you go there?
Sean Podine, when they
Yeah.
won the cup, he
Yeah.
left his gear on the whole night.
Good for him.
24
Pissed in it, I
Did you-
bet. Just everything.
Could you imagine how you would have smelt when you woke up the next, or whenever you decided to go to bed or whatever? The whole night he kept it on.
That's great.
Just took his wheels off, fucking shoulder pads, everything.
Imagine the day when you used to win on the road and had to jump on that commercial flight back. Hey,
Could you still get laid if you were a single guy and you won the cup and you wore your gear out and didn't shower? Could
I
you
think
still
you get
one
laid
done?
before anyone else.
Yes.
Yeah, even if you stink.
I would, yeah, 100%.
Because
You know,
everyone's-
that's why that
you get the
zipper-
champagne in the room. That
By the
doesn't
way,
matter.
that's really why the zipper's there on the inside of the leg. On the inside of the leg.
If you ever win the mug, and
It's
you just
just
wanna,
so you can pull her right out when you win. Yeah.
What if you got the underjock on there? You get fucking
Slide it to
You'd
the
have to
side.
give you some time to get her float up a
No,
little bit.
you know what you do there?
Fuck.
You just finally just snip the two sides that keep the jock together and
let
just
her hang.
let her hang. She deserves to hang.
Well, Up Dog, as a former alumni of the Colorado Avalanche, I appreciate your hard work for the organization. So, who did you guys play?
My pleasure.
Who did you guys play?
We played each other basically.
you did.
They split up our team, and then we had like a Aspen Leafs kind of men's league group of guys. Like they're kind of their all-star team put together. They played with us, so we mixed and matched. It was a great. There was one kid out there who was fucking stick handling like Patty Kane.
Really?
This kid was good. He played on my team. He was
A young kid,
legit.
I assume,
He
or-
was probably 25.
So young enough.
Young enough and skilled, and there's so many good fucking like players in the world, right? Like
I
that you don't know of, that just watch fucking the Zegrases now and the fucking
Zegras. We're gonna get into old Zegras. He's the talk. This guy's fucking the talk of the league. Up Dog, Grey Cup Sunday. I watched the tail end of it. I haven't watched CFL football in forever. It was the Bombers and the Ticats. Ticats lost a heartbreaker. Ooh. The Blue Bombers are back-to-back champs. And Princey, you are a big CFL guy, right? You love this shit.
Yeah, boys, little hidden secret. I absolutely love the CFL. I am a Stampeders season ticket holder here in Calgary. So it's not the NFL, but it's what we got here. It's a great time. It's fun. I loved it. I watched the game too. The ending was pretty wicked. And the halftime show, that was unreal. Arkells and Lumineers. Like, come on, you're not getting that everywhere else.
Listen, there's not a whole lot of things that would get me to Cowtown. Maybe go see Richie Babe, the Stampede next year, because we're going to do a show. The fucking Lumineers playing the halftime. How'd they get the Lumineers? Charlie boy, don't go to war. Like, how'd they get the Lumineers? They're from
Good
Denver.
question. Maybe they doubled them up with the Arkells because they were on doing shows together. So I don't know how they ended up getting them, but they've had some pretty wicked shows recently. Like obviously they didn't have a season last year, but they had Keith Urban did the Grey Cup in Calgary in 2019. So
Did
no short
Nicole
of talent there.
did Nicole come with them? Or
she was too busy
I don't think
filming
she
that
did.
Big Little Lies and getting stuffed.
I tell you what, she gets stuffed in that lot. Hey, so I tell you, I took my family to Christmas church in Nashville. And in comes Keith Urban and Nicole Kidman, right? I'm talking the pew right behind us. And now my mom and sister are like, hey, let's keep it together here. It's church. But then I'm starting looking at Nicole, and now I'm kind of like, I'm fucking drooling over her.
How does she
Fucking
look?
tall skyscraper.
Yeah, she's hot. Was she red hair at the time or like?
Yeah,
blonde?
she was red hair.
Yeah,
she was red hair. But it was like we were just sitting there, like my parents, they're the best, like just small town poor old people, and they check their shoulder, and there's Keith Urban and Nicole Kidman. They're like, my mom's like,
that's
holy
good.
shit.
That happens in Nashville. That's
Yeah.
why Nashville's so cool.
Princey, I got a question about the CFL. Maybe I should know this as an Ontario boy. I'm an Argonauts fan.
Yeah.
Is the football bigger? It looked bigger when the guy was throwing it. It looked rounder. It looked fatter.
Yeah,
it
it's
looked
fucking bigger.
It's
You didn't
bigger,
know that?
right?
Oh yeah.
Like
Yeah,
it looked
it's
like
way
a
bigger.
fat
Yeah.
ball.
Yeah, you can't fucking
huge,
you
yeah.
could be able to grab that.
Yeah,
you
maybe.
could grab that and launch it, but not many guys. Even like you would see a drastic difference in performance of an NFL quarterback playing with that ball than he would with his ball. 100%, eh, Princey?
Yeah, I think back when there was the bubble there in the summertime, I think they were connected to where they're now called the Elks. So players were going out on the field and they were trying
Fucking
to chuck the ball
Eskimos.
around. They're formerly known as the Eskimos. Now
They'll
the
always be the
Edmonton Elks.
Eskimos.
Totally.
But there were guys out on the field because that's all they could do. So they would go out on Commonwealth Field or whatever it's called, and they were chucking the ball around. You could tell they were gripping it and grabbing it, being like, "What the hell is this?" It's definitely way bigger, and the field is way wider too. So you get a lot of
I
these
noticed
guys.
that, but why is the ball bigger? Is it only because there's 3 downs, or what the fuck?
Canadians got bigger balls, but
Yeah,
Is it easier to hold on to when it's frozen? I don't know. Why is the ball bigger? It doesn't make sense to me.
because they're playing games in -25. They gotta try to catch on to
the
it. Honestly, I
deflate
don't
rule.
know.
You bring the fucking Tom Brady rule in, and they'll bring him down to NFL size.
I mean, this poor quarterback for the Tiger Cats, he's throwing this ball that looked like the size of a fucking
Watermelon.
Watermelon. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
He's throwing it. This
Saskatchewan.
thing's hanging up in the air for fucking. I was like, Jesus. But
Now, is the college football the same as the NFL football?
The
Do you know?
college one to me, I think it's almost like a hybrid. It's between both. Like it's got the it's got the white circles around it. I don't know if it's the same size, but I would say it's almost like a hybrid between CFL and NFL.
I like the white circles.
I like the white circles
Yeah, the
too. And
white
I will
circles,
say about the CFL, real men play 3 downs. We only get 3 downs up there. All right.
Yeah,
and
only
you
got
got to
3
think about,
downs.
third
Yeah,
down.
yeah.
Here we go again. Here we go again.
Or you get the running start.
I will
away.
say,
the running
boys,
start's a
about
nice
the-
touch. The running start's a nice touch.
It is, right?
I will say
Yeah.
about the CFL boys, they're at the Calgary Stampeders games. The tailgating, I know it's not NFL, but the tailgating the Stampeders do is top notch. Obi, you did hint it, and we're going to keep it a little bit quiet here. We're talking to Cowboys. If Missin Curfew is down during Stampede time and there's a Stampeders game, I got a buddy that runs the best tailgate in all of the CFL. Shout out to my guy Brock Shepard, runs the best tailgate. Maybe we'll host a little Missin Curfew tailgate party if it lines up.
Are we supposed to keep that quiet? I've been telling everyone. Is that not official? Is that not
you
official?
want to tell people now I'm
I'm telling everyone.
because it's a
I'll
fucking
make it.
rodeo. No
Yeah.
joke.
Yeah.
And no pun intended.
We could break it here if
For
you
all-
want. If you
for
could
all
break it here,
facts.
but I'm
Well,
waiting until it's signed on the dotted line.
I thought, listen, fuck.
It's coming. It's coming, boys. It's coming.
Okay, well, I'll stop telling everyone in Canada that we're going there because I told people in Vancouver, Ontario.
You're
I'm trying to rally the
You're
troops
safe.
already.
Yeah, you're safe to tell people.
Shout out to Gary Lawless, big Bombers fan. I saw him tweeting about it. Gary, you're a beauty. Listen, I love these Bombers fans. They're just standing there at Portridge and Maine, maybe the coldest winter intersection in the fucking Canada. And they're just standing out there celebrating.
Are they like Bills fans?
They must
like
be.
Bills
They
fans.
must be. They're just standing right on the
Yeah.
You've been there. That
Yeah,
intersection
it's disgusting
is
in that intersection.
it is humming.
You can't even walk across it actually for
No,
like 4 months
you
because the
can't.
wind and the cold and the wind chill. That's what they call it up in Canada.
Yeah.
It's fucking freezing, right?
Yeah.
That's why they got the underground tunnels there. You know that.
Buddy, I tried to walk home. First time I played in the Peg, I think it was in the Jungie. I tried to walk outside home. Fuck my fault. My spiky hair was coming off. You can't. You got to walk through the tunnels.
What do you think our listeners are thinking right now in California when we say that there's underground tunnels to walk through in Winnipeg because it's so cold,
They don't know what to think.
right?
I got a flood outside my house here. It's
And
raining
then they'll
in
say, well, what's
California.
down there? You go, Tim Hortons.
Scotia,
Tim Hortons.
Scotiabank.
Yeah, Scotiabank.
TD Bank. What
else is there?
Canadian Tire, maybe.
There's
I
a
don't know.
Subway in there.
Sobeys. I don't know what the fuck's down
My
there.
backyard, boys.
I text Loops. This guy's a fucking beauty. I text Loops. I'm like, Bombers back-to-back champs. He texts back, heads up, Earls. Heads up, Earls. That's where, if I was in Winnipeg and the Bombers got it done, up dog, I'd have a table for you at Earls. Chili chicken and fucking beers flying. I would not
And
be.
Alexander Keith's with the little fucking froze on top.
I would not be standing at Portrait of Maine with my
Iceberg.
Bombers flag. So, congratulations to the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. I love the CFL in all seriousness. Argos, get it together. Get it together. So, up dog, this guy who we love.
Who's
he
the
actually
guy?
asked-
The guy?
This guy who we love,
Okay.
Trevor Zegras.
Oh, Ziggy.
He actually asked about you at Getzlav's golf tournament. You ducked out to go watch Dave Matthews Band or something. He's like, "Where's Upshaw?" He's a big fan of yours too. The fucking assist heard around the world. This kid is shook in the foundation of hockey. He's got my boy John Tortorella in hot water again.
Oh, he is. But that's what he's there for. Let's be honest.
Okay, so we both can agree the assist is amazing. Right?
Yeah,
It's an amazing
yeah.
assist.
It's a great assist.
It's a great assist.
Yeah.
I mean, what he's doing for the game. There's kids on social media practicing it from minor hockey to college to junior. They're practicing that play now. To him, it's unbelievable. I want to ask you about Torch's comments where he said, it's not good for the game. And moving forward, the game is getting too soft. It used to be a hard game where you'd have to earn your ice and play through people. He said it's a skillful play, but no longer is it a hard game to play. What do you think of those comments?
I think he sits in the same chair as us with a lot of that, with a lot of the issues with the penalties and the way the game is, and fans going to the rink now, and them considering hockey like something they don't go to watch hitting for, or fighting for, or scrums for. But it's highly skilled, and there's a lot of young kids out there now that are focused on skill. You look at like some Instagram followers. That Always Hockey guy has millions of followers, and all he does is do like fucking circus acts with a hockey puck and a stick, and it's impressive. But to us, it's not hockey. Now, I think the play is unbelievable. It's a highly skilled play. It happens like that. You're in front of people. I could always do that. You know me. I can juggle. I can fucking do things with my golf club. But if the ice is wet and it's fucking during a game, you cannot get that puck up unless you literally massage the balls, the living daylights out of that fucking puck. Like, there's no way you can get that up on your stick when it's wet, right? Or if your tape is wet, it's like fucking impossible.
I don't know. I never tried it, but yeah, I'm assuming so. But when you go to do the Indy 500, it's hard to pick up. Yes,
I'm just fucking going round and round. But what I think is more,
you're fine.
What I think is more impressive was, I think 2 years ago now, the Carolina Hurricanes. What the fuck is his name?
Sebastian Aho?
No, Svechnikov. He did 2 in 1 year. 2 fucking Michigan goals in 1 year. That to me is way better than this Zegras pass to. This guy was moving full speed. He never stopped behind the net and had time. Yes, everything Zegras did was amazing, and the fact that he tossed it over and it was hit with a perfect high stick is like a feat in itself. But what Svechnikov, I don't know how to say that name.
Shnefnikov.
That wasn't it either.
Princey, how do you say it?
Svechnikov.
What would you call him? Schnetzy? No.
Anyway, this was way more nasty, I think. His 2 goals, if that makes any sense.
No, it does make sense.
He did it twice in 1 year. It's fucking crazy.
And listen, I want to keep this going. Princey, I'm going to get your perspective from a fan in 1 second. Rick Tocchet said the next shift, if he was playing, something would have went down.
He would have beat
someone would have killed Zegras. And I'm going to second that. Now, I wouldn't have jumped him and fought him, because he's not a fighter, but I would have cross-checked him as hard as I could in the elbow. I would have continued to slash him behind the leg, continued to slash him on top of his skates. And every time he went to the net, I would have made the rest of that evening miserable, and probably for the foreseeable future, until he got his second or third year in the league.
Yeah.
Leon Draisaitl, when asked about it, he said, whatever. 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 I don't care. I'm not going to try it. My question to you is, Uppy, the way Zegras handled it with the celebration in the corner, with putting his hands on his head and the face he made, and then going back to the bench and laughing, I think that's where I have a hard time with it. And I love this kid, and everyone loves him. He's great for the game, but you can't go back to the bench laughing, even when you do play against the Buffalo Sabres. I think if you would have handled the celebration with a little bit more respect to the game, I don't think veterans like Draisaitl and these guys would kind of be like, whatever with this kid. Maybe I'm reading too much into it.
No, you're not. It's the same as having Getzy on, and we ask him about Zegras, and he says, like, yeah, I got to keep him in check sometimes because all he's doing is like talking and laughing, but he's so fucking skilled that
he's ridiculously skilled.
What's he gonna do? What's he gonna do next? Yes. Is it gonna be, is he gonna do that to his feet and like kick one like, through his legs, and
who knows
what's next?
Who knows what he's got up his sleeve?
So let's see how nasty he is. Let's challenge him. Let's see what's next.
Yeah. And
all right, if you're gonna do this, do something else.
Yeah, and listen, one last thing before I turn over to Princey. It's great for the game when we're trying. Me and you talk a lot about selling the game, and it's on ESPN and TNT. Guys at Big Canyon, Tom Doherty, Danny Lane, guys that don't really watch hockey came up to me and were like, "Did you see the alley-oop pass?" Lots of people in California said it. So from that perspective, it's great. Now, from an old defenseman sitting here, I got issues with it, and I think that's what Torts was trying to say: is the game is heading somewhere he doesn't want it to, and I'm with him. But Princey, from a fan's perspective, what did you think about the assist?
Well, I guess it kind of depends. You kind of nailed it there, Obes, with some of your friends that you said that don't really watch hockey, so they were pretty enamored by it. You know me, guys. I watch 5 games a night. I don't miss anything. So and I'm kind of on the same side as you guys, where I think it was awesome. I think it was really good for the game. In terms of a Missin Curfew standpoint, that's the kind of clips that we want to fire out there because everybody wants to talk about it. I think people probably took what Torts said out of context maybe a little bit. I think a lot of people thought, well, he did the Zegras, maybe we should just go after him right away. But that's not really how I took it. I'm on the same standpoint of you guys where I like it. I think it's cool. Do I think he should have been able to get away with it that easy and laugh and celebrate? No, I don't. Look at the team that he did it against, the Buffalo Sabres. I don't know who the 3 guys that were just standing there watching him, but they let him basically do it. Now, if he's playing a different team, if he's playing the Vegas Golden Knights and Braden McNabb's behind the net, is he going to try to do that? Maybe, probably not. But I think it's cool. I think it's good for the game. I'm not going to, sit here and say that it's not good for the game, but I'm on the same opinion of you guys that, these guys are they're getting to do this too easy, I guess. They're not not going to be getting away with trying to do all this hot dog stuff when they should be maybe trying to do something else. So I'm not a young fan. I'm an old fan. So I know where you guys are coming from.
I will say this, Uppy. Every team, what it's like video in the NHL. Every fucking coach is like, if you see Zagreus behind the net, flush him on his backhand.
And just go fucking kill him.
Kill him. And this is what I would say. This is my last. This is my last. Yeah, right through my legs. Fucking -3. Have a seat O'Brien. You're on waivers. Up dog, I would say you're a prime example. I would say, Uppy, if you see this fucking Zegers kid out here, fucking run him.
Yeah.
Run him. Run him through the fucking boards. And it's nothing against him. I think he's great for the Ducks. I love the kid. I hope someday we get him on the pod. I think he's great. We're just talking prospectively here from a couple old fucking veterans. And for Torch, somebody said on social media, he'll never get a job because of these comments.
They're idiots. But I do love the comment where he's like, Sonny Milano, yeah, yelling the Michigan. It's really skilled. Yeah, skilled, yeah.
Hey, Torch, smile for fuck's sake, Torch.
We know what your message was, Torch. We know you hated it. But that's
Torch
good.
hates everything.
Because that's good. That we need that for TV too. So we need a guy like Torch saying it.
I'm going to reach out to Torch in the new year. I'm going to try everything to get him on this podcast.
Bring him in here. He's going to LA all the time.
Torch, smile. Look at that. I mean, Torch, look at your bank account. It's got to be nice. It's got to make him smile, doesn't it? He just wants to coach. He wants to get back behind the bench.
Yeah.
It was like you back in the day when you're not allowed to go to the bar. You got to be allowed to go to the bar.
Games. I know. just working it.
Zegers, we love you, kid. We're sorry, a little tough love here, but I mean, fuck, what a play. Up dog, our next segment is brought to our boys, DraftKings. They're everywhere. I was watching UFC. They got the DraftKings fucking clock in the ring. This thing's just called Heads Up. Heads Up. Jacob Trouba. I never seen this guy get so much press.
No shit.
Obviously, the 2 hits, they were both clean. I mean, I don't know what to think about this. I just think we see it so little that I think when it happens now, we're like, holy fuck. But the hit I really want to talk to you about is the Ryan Lumbark hit on Jacob McDonald. Happened the other night against Florida and Avalanche. What a hockey game.
Yeah, it was a great game. I was in Aspen watching it, yeah.
Fuck, what
Sunday
a game.
night, heavy one. Yeah, it was great.
It had everything. It had everything but the first period over. Didn't have that.
Right till the bitter end, too. I thought the Panthers were pressing. Like
they threw the kitchen sink in on that game. My boy Weegsy's out there 6-on-5.
I know he hit the bar in the first period too.
Yeah,
good. He's playing well.
He's got good poise.
Keep shooting it, Z.
But this hit, he comes down up dog to McDonald. You never want to see anyone get put on a stretcher, but fuck me, like you put yourself in a position up. Be like that. The winger Lumberg, he had no choice but to hit him there. You cannot let the defenseman off the hook if he puts himself in that position.
No, and you can't. If you're the Colorado Avalanche, you also can't let that happen without, he fights, but you need to go after that guy for the rest of the night, I think.
I thought McDermott, big 56, was playing forward. He shouldn't be playing forward, but he's playing forward. I thought he was going to do something to him. He never did, Uppy.
So Lumberg comes down. He probably intent is not even to hit the guy, because you don't go down to hit a guy like that when he has control of the puck. But when you lose control of the puck, get your head up. You can't lean forward with your head down, that you're just going to get absolutely murdered. He has every right to hit him there.
Yeah.
Now, if you do that and the guy gets stretchered off, it's bad outcome, but it's the game of hockey. The game still needs to be, you still need to learn to play the game and be aware of your surroundings, because this is fast. Guys are strong. Guys want to make an impact to their team. A guy like Lomberg he's not out there to score goals. Nor should he. He's out there to make, hard plays and get his team some energy. And that's just a good hit that I want in the game. I want a guy to bury a guy if his fucking head's down.
Yeah. And for McDonald, it's a tough lesson. But fuck, he had time and space, and I don't know what he was doing. I don't know if he got caught on the yellow, but he started leaning this way when really all he had to do was take it, get his head up, and make a play.
Are they teaching kids nowadays to not just have your head up?
It's funny you say that, because our guest, you got a great guest coming up for us, and he scouts a lot of junior hockey and midget hockey. I want to ask him that exact question. Like, fuck, are these kids not being taught to be prepared to take a hit, or is the next wave of kids coming? we're going to see less hitting because they're just not prepared for it. But that's a great question. I'll be like, this McDonald kid who's a decent player and is trying to establish himself in the league, he puts himself in a bad spot. And Lundberg, you got to finish your check there. So I hope he's okay. Kyle Keefe was all fired up again. Kiefer, I love him. He's a homer, though. Anytime an Avs guy gets hit, he goes bananas. Like when McKinnon got hit by...
So he loves Landy then.
Kyle Keefe, we all love Landy. Kyle Keefe loves Landy more. Kyle Keefe has seen Landy since he was 18 years old. Yeah. So he has seen this kid grow up to what he is now. And Kyle Keefe, he couldn't love Landy anymore. We all love Landy.
Can we go to the McKinnon hit by Trouba where Landy jumps in, but he knows that the hit was clean. Mm-hmm. You can see how he drops his gloves and he knows he's like fighting him because he's sticking up for his teammate. But at the same time, he's literally like going to Trouba like, I know that was clean, but I got to fight you right now just because that's who I am.
It's our best player.
Like it's not like when that fucking Ekholm was launching fucking Rattinen's helmet down the ice and he came in like with a vengeance. Like, fuck you. This is.
Do you think Landy goes into that McDermott and says, hey, buddy, I got more fights than you this year. What the fuck is going on here?
He's like Getzey last year.
Yeah, he's like Getzey.
Yeah. So, I just, the game, you got to stick up for your teammates, number one, but you got to play hard hockey, man, because it's what wins championships. Come playoff time, there's hitting, there's intensity. So you got to find a way to get to that level during the season. And if you don't play physical hockey, you never will.
Absolutely. And you bring up Landeskog, you tee me right up under our next little question here. The comment section on our Missin Curfew Instagram, which Princey's killing as always. Is Landy the best captain in the NHL today? Question is Landeskog the model and best captain in the NHL today, Updog? And for me, I really think he is because I'm going to use Bo Horvat as an example. And Bo's playing a lot better for the Canucks. And I don't know him personally. I know that Travis Green used to love him and thought he was a great captain. But through their slide before Bruce came in, I would watch Canucks game and be like, why doesn't Horvat just go out and just fight somebody? Like their team is in a losing skid beyond belief. They're flat again. I know it's not his nature, but I expect my captain, and maybe it's because I grew up with guys like Ryan Getzlaf, but to go out there and if something happens, you're going to chuck him. And Landy will do that.
So who did Landy learn from?
Landy learned from me.
Fucking right. Let's be honest here. Who was his captain before? Was it Hayduk?
Hayduk.
Okay. And then before that was like Rob Blake.
No, it was him. It was Hayduk and then fucking Landy.
Yeah.
Sorry, but in the organization?
Foot, probably. But anyway.
But Landy wasn't there. So Landy's only captain that Landy ever had was Milan Hayduk.
Yeah. But he had guys around him that he looked up to that were leaders that played a certain way, demanded them to play a certain way.
I remember Landy's rookie year. He gets in his first fight, and I'm like, dude, why are you fighting? Like, you're gonna win the Calder here. He's like, it's something I want to bring to my game. Like, it's always something. I'm like, all right, well, after practice, let's go out and I'll show you where to grab and this and that. And his first fight wasn't pretty. But he's like, Obi, if I'm going to play the way I want to play, I got to learn how to fight. So I said, hey, after practice, I'll show you where to grab and stuff like that. And it was something that he had in him right from day one. And I'm not saying Bo Horvat does or doesn't. And listen, fighting sucks, but Landy's had that in him from day one, and it's a nice feather in your cap.
It is, and fighting, and I was never great at fighting, but fighting does bring an element to your game that it feeds through your group of guys. It shows that you're in it. Braden Shen fucking is a stud for it. He knows when to do it. Shane Doan was kind of the same way. He knew when to fight. Didn't go out and pick fights, just for the hell of it, but did. I look at Bo Horvat and use him as an example. He had the Sedin twins as his captains before. I don't know if there's, he had he had Derek Dorsett, who was probably, a great leader for him growing, like
pound for pound, really tough guy too, Dorsett.
Yeah, totally.
Really tough.
And he was like a Steve Ott. Like he knew that was his role sometimes, and he would go and fight guys bigger than him. Sometimes, a captain just doesn't want that.
Yeah.
He doesn't want to be that guy.
I want my captain to have that.
I do too. The fucking rights.
Speaking of Ott, you guys had a great picture Princey put on the Missin Curfew. Where was that? Have you seen that one? You guys
Is it the one where we're yelling at
No, you're sitting just you and him like
Oh yeah. We did so Otter that year did like a round table thing for the Blues, and it would be just random questions. So Princey's little quote where he's like, caption this or whatever.
Yeah.
It was basically us just doing just that. It was him asking me stupid, silly questions. I'm sure the interviews. Did we put the interview?
I have the video.
You have the video. Yeah, that's great.
I have it. It's in
I
the
did one with Carter Hutton actually the next year. Hutsy took Otter's kind of gig when Otter was our coach. So It was fun. The Blues like to have some fun like that on their social media.
Yeah, that stuff's great. You know, actually, who we give the Ducks a hard time a lot, but they do some cool stuff on their social media. They're trying to like branch out, and I've noticed that they try to do some cool stuff to get some people more engaged. So, Doug, I'm with you though about captains. If you got a guy like Landeskog that's willing to drop his gloves, not all the time. I just think it goes a long way for the boys in the dressing room. And speaking about fighting, we had a quote here from Adam Fox saying your boy Revo, when he's in the lineup, him or no one else on the Rangers is scared. Now, you had Revo on your line. I guess my point is, or my question to you is, as much as we say the game's changed, this is something that will never change. If you have somebody on your team, on your line, in your locker room that brings fear into the other team, everyone's balls get a little bit bigger.
Yeah, you're right. And I had big balls for a couple years. I got to do whatever I wanted, and it was basically a thing. I mean, I wasn't going out of my way to be an idiot, but you knew that you could do certain things, say certain things, and Revo
play
knew,
a certain way.
Yeah, Revo knew I had his back, but Revo ultimately had everyone's back. Like if Revo was going in and fucking it was on, Brodziak and I knew we're fucking bringing it too. It would just be a thing. You didn't even have to talk about it. So that sort of chemistry and that camaraderie on your squad is just, if it's a dying breed, it's gonna be unfortunate because those teams are tight. You always remember those teams. Those teams usually are successful. Just knowing that you got guys that like to go out and fucking stick up for each other is big.
It's huge, and it's something that a lot of people maybe don't notice. And Anaheim's got a guy in Delorier, the French guy, Delorier, who was absolutely buckled at Getzlaf's golf tournament. Fuck, was he having a time? Great guy, actually. I played against him a little bit. Him and O'Reilly played together. Fat Daddy played together in Buffalo. He goes out there. He makes everyone on that team feel a little bit safer, a little bit more secure. Zegras, Drysdale, guys like that. Like, it's so important to have guys like that in your dressing room. And I think it's helped the Rangers get off to an 18-6-3 start here.
Yeah.
And Revo's he's making some nice plays. I see him do a little backhand sauce to the front of the net. Got an apple. Like, he's contributing.
Yeah, that backhand, that cross ice backhand cheddar, right? Or
Yeah.
cross ice backhand sauce.
Sauce
to
to
the
the
guy, right
guy
on
with
his tape.
Cheddar. So
Why didn't he do that for me when I played?
I think you did. You were probably just going the net too hard. Hey, fuck, I'm sure. Uppy, our next segment is brought to you by our good friends at Aura Rings. It's just called the Good Old Fashioned Billionaire Boys Club, presented by Aura Ring. NHL teams' values were released here. For these fucking owners out there, all right, that are saying this and that, have a look at this list here, bud. Rangers, 2 billion.
2
with a
BB.
B.
1 Billy, 1 Billy, 1
I think
Billy.
the one that shocked me, and I don't know why it did, is the Edmonton Oilers at 1.1 billion. I just thought I was a little shocked at that.
Because they got a free rink.
Is that what it was?
I mean, they're attached to a free barn. So maybe, I don't know, actually. But
No,
you got
that
the best
could- that-
player. You
that
got the
could
best
be-
player in your world in the nicest hockey arena. You know.
Yeah.
But is that American dollars? Because if it is, they should maybe step up and pay their players a little more.
Is that American dollars?
This should be all
should be
American.
American, yeah.
Actually, me and Cooley got into this yesterday. I was thinking about you. He was talking about how he's like, McDavid's underpaid. And I'm like, fuck, it's funny you say that. Me and Uppy a couple weeks ago on Missin Curfew, we literally had this conversation. He's like, and Cooley's like, if you put him equivalent to any other sport, he's so underpaid. So I guess we weren't on a stretch that day, Uppy. We knew what we were talking about, pal.
So, so this is franchise values, right?
Franchise values.
This is, only if an owner decides to sell his team, basically. And then you got to find the buyer. So these numbers are yes, whatever. Now, my thing is when you think about hockey-related revenue woes, and we can dive into this, but we need like people smarter than us and maybe lawyers.
But break out the calculator.
No, but yes, if the owners fucking lose a little bit of money every year, their values go up no matter what. Because it's just fucking happening, and that's the world we live in. Now, why can't they take out fucking loans like normal people to buy houses or to do whatever? Why can't they take out loans to fucking pay their players more money to be what they're worth for just to get hockey fucking up to where it should be? When you look at these, they have a $2 billion fucking valuation and they pay their players fucking $60 million a year. Am I taking crazy pills here? Does that make sense?
No, it doesn't make sense.
So I don't care if they fucking lose a little bit of money or COVID hits and no one goes to the fucking games for a year. You're still the property, your property, the franchise, the entity itself is fucking skyrocketing every year after year. that money doesn't go back to the players.
No.
So fuck you.
Exactly. And we're still paying escrow. Look at this. The last place squad, they couldn't pay their fucking bill. They couldn't pay their rent. They're worth 400 fucking bananas. The Arizona Coyotes. Like,
So that's what
I don't
the
get
lowest
it.
team's
Where the
worth,
fuck,
400.
what are they crying poor for? Why is the Arizona Coyotes owner calling poor? He's worth $400 fucking million organization.
Just this team, just this squad.
This team.
Yeah. Now I could see if the Phoenix Coyotes if the Arizona Coyotes lose, let's say $30 million a year, they're still
Well,
fucking,
that's what they're going to say.
that's what they say. But still, it's still worth 15x what that is. So come on.
So that's what they want us to. They say, hey, we lost 30 million, but my team's
when
worth
you call
400
it,
bananas.
and I like that the segment called Aura Ring Billionaire Boys Club, because once you're in there as a franchise owner, it's a fucking boys club.
Yeah.
You do whatever the fuck you want.
I know.
And
These fuckers.
it's, you know who told me this one day was Lou Welsh. Lou Welsh is a friend
Sweet
of
Lou
ours,
Welsh.
and shout out to him. He
Best
went through-
smile in the world.
He went through a tough time over the holiday, but he's a fucking legend.
Can we talk about his smile? He's got a
He's
great smile.
He's a legend. He always walks in, knows exactly what to say, remembers everybody's name. He's just one of the greatest guys ever.
Love him. Sweet Lou.
And Lou described to me just this whole conversation about franchise value. And once you get into it, whether you lose 20, 30 million bucks a year, or you have a great playoff run, win a championship, and all of a sudden, you make $20 million a year, franchise values just follow like the flow of like society. They just continually grow up, it's like the stock market. Now,
Like
if you
inflation
can get
kind of?
in,
No.
you're good. You just got to get in.
How do we get in, Ups?
I don't know.
Can we get in? Can we get in?
I don't know. We'll see if one of these new owners wants to, start a multimedia company, and we'll lead the charge for him.
Yeah, listen, and there was a quote from Gary Bettman. He said, I'm not going anywhere. I'm not fucking leaving. That's what he said.
What'd he say?
Well, there was Board of Governors meetings, which we're going to get into here.
He doesn't want to step aside, huh?
He said, I'm not fucking leaving.
I had a
And I can see
conversation
why
with-
these owners don't want to leave. I mean, the Oilers are worth $1 billion. The Edmonton Oilers are worth $1 billion.
I know.
I like White Ave, but come on.
I wonder what Daryl Gates bought them for. I want to say maybe 200.
He's still the owner, right? Correct me if I'm
Yeah, he is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Princey, what did he buy that for? Can you look that up quick?
Good question. I'll look it up.
I'd say he
That
bought
one
that.
shocked me up,
I
dog.
would say it's less than that. He's owned the team for maybe 12 years. Longer than that, actually. Because when I was fucking working out at Simon Bennett, who's, shout out to him, he was my trainer till I was probably 25. Daryl was in, I bet you he's owned the team for 18 years.
I got it, Uppy. Okay.
What do you buy it for?
In 2007, Cates bought the Oilers for $145 million.
What did I say? What did I say?
You said
180?
200 million, didn't
Yeah.
you?
So he's
So,
fucking 10x.
that's not bad.
He's 10x his cash in 14, 15 years, and he can't fucking
You don't
pay
think
Connor.
Connor McDavid deserves 40 million?
Yeah, he can't give Connor 25, 30
Steph
million.
Curry's making 40 bananas. Let's get Connor 25. Uppy, we're gonna turn this whole thing upside down, me and you.
We should be the fucking commissioner, Robes.
Gary Bettman ain't going anywhere. Tease us up into the NHL Board of Governors. Up dog salary cap is going to go up $1 million next year to 8.25.
Woohoo!
Gary states the Coyotes are not going anywhere outside of Arizona. They're talking about, listen to this fucking shit. They're talking about in Arizona next year playing in the old building that the fucking Phoenix Roadrunners played.
Yeah, I played in there. Yeah, I played in there. It's a.
Where is it?
It's the old rink where the Phoenix Suns and the Roadrunners played. Yeah,
Yeah, I guess.
yeah, it's downtown. It's a
Chase Field,
basketball rink. It
Oh,
has,
so the original stadium they played
Yeah.
in. Oh,
Yeah.
okay. I thought it was like some East Coast League barn they were talking about.
they should just play in the college barn, and just
Well, they had talked about almost doing like a traveling season within Arizona, where they would go and play at the college, and they'd go play downtown, and then they'd have a series at Chase Field where the Diamondbacks played. So they just basically play everywhere.
Interesting.
I think, listen, I love Arizona. I love Scottsdale. I love going to Old Town with you.
Since when do you believe anything Gary Bettman says? Though?
Fucking Gary.
Sorry to cut you off.
No, that's okay.
I love Scottsdale too.
Yeah, I know you do. But listen, I think it's like the ex-girlfriend. You go back to the 15 fucking times, it doesn't work out. Okay, it's over.
Just feels
Right?
so good.
Yeah, I know, right? But you have that connection in the bedroom. I get it. Fuck. I'm just saying, Uppy, we've been talking about this since fucking you were drafted and I was drafted, and we're still talking about the Phoenix, Arizona Coyotes not having a barn with no fans. Now, either build a fucking barn in Tempe or in North Scottsdale. I don't know. There's so many golf courses in North Scottsdale. Maybe you can't anymore. Or in Tempe, or move the team to Houston.
There's got to be an owner that just wants to come in and build a sick barn in a great town that's not going anywhere. Scottsdale ain't going anywhere.
No.
Right?
No. It's not as Bottle Blonde's there. It ain't going anywhere. As long as Bottle Blonde is in Old Town, Scottsdale's not going anywhere.
Why don't they just build it right next to that TPC, right on the 16th fucking green? Why don't they play there?
I mean, they dropped the ball, and they did it in Fort Lauderdale, too. You were a Panther for a long time. I mean, to have that rink not near Fort Lauderdale, it's fucked everything up there.
It's a sin.
It's a sin.
Now, so this was foreshadowing for them back in the day. They got their crystal ball out. They just thought, fuck, everything's going to eventually go out there, right? Like real estate. You just think it's all going to go out there. This new swamp in Sawgrass is going to turn into into the new Miami. Well, you're wrong. And no one's showing up to the game. It's been 15, 20 years. I don't know.
They fucked it
It's
up.
just going to cost them a little bit of money. Again, we're talking franchise value.
Florida's okay because they have a good hockey club and a good owner. And they got Sean Thornton down there selling fucking,
Thorny
I don't
babe.
know what he's selling. He's selling everything. I think they'll be okay. And I think they can get away with it. But Arizona in a rebuild, Houston's dying for a team up. They're the 8th biggest media market in, is it the North America?
North America.
North America. Thanks, Princey.
They're like 4th biggest
We played
city,
against the
too.
Houston Arrows. Did you ever go to Treasures in Houston?
I went to them all, I think.
I spent half my signing bonus in Treasures. I'm
Really?
not gonna lie. Oh yeah, great spot.
I remember that was my first ever playoff.
You played against the Houston Arrows, though, right?
round. Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah. Was it the Arrows the whole time?
Yeah, they
Or
played
did
at the
switch?
Toyota Center.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, listen, I'm all for. I love Scottsdale. I just think I guess I'm kind of sick of talking about it. And Updog, the NHL is tracking to be over $5 billion in revenue this year, which would put them ahead of where they were heading before 2019-20. So $5 billion in revenue. I mean, that ties into the fucking escrow the boys are paying and all that stuff, right?
It should be considered HRR,
Yeah.
hockey-related revenue.
Yeah. So, and then also Gary said he met with the Quebec government. The thing about Quebec, and listen, I think they deserve a team. Quebec. How do I say it? Quebec?
No, you can say it however you want.
Fucking Quebec.
Quebec.
If they go there, it fucks up the whole. You got to change the divisions, and right? Is right. If they go there, you got to change the divisions.
Do you?
Don't you?
Don't you?
They can't play in the Central over to Quebec.
If it was Arizona, yeah.
If it was Arizona, you'd have to change the conferences and
Or you
divisions.
can
was
move
like
Columbus
Buffalo, you
back
wouldn't.
over.
Columbus back to the West.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or Detroit.
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 Yeah,
what?
I guess that's the least of the worries, eh?
Yeah, that's fuck. Bring out the Campbell division again.
The Norris division.
Yeah.
Smythe. I like to see those Quebec Nordique jerseys again, though. They fuck.
They sure do. Well, we did see them. Colorado Avalanche. Third jersey.
That was your favorite one.
It was. We saw him at the Tahoe.
Gary, listen, Gary. It might be time to move on. I don't know. Anyways, what can you say here? Updog. That was presented by our good friend at Aura Rings, Billionaires Boys Club. Jim Rutherford named the president of hockey ops and interim GM. What do you think about this job? I mean, he's 72 years old. He's got 3 Stanley Cups. They're 4 and under Bruce Boudreau. The fans keep chanting, Bruce, there he is. And Bruce said after the game last night, I wish they would stop singing that stupid song. I love Bruce Boudreau. I disagree with that. I think you should enjoy it, Bruce, because before you know it, if the Canucks fans turn on you,
He loves it.
you love it, Bruce.
Fuck, who's he kidding?
What do you think about Jim Rutherford? 72, president. That's a good move.
Yeah, I mean, all the stuff I read on him is he's well respected by other GMs. All GMs call him, and he's like the fucking godfather of all these guys, and he knows kind of everything that goes on. He's almost like the commissioner, right? So, I read an article in the Athletic where Diacolini, the owner of the Vancouver Canucks, mentioned that he'd been calling Rutherford for the better part of like 4 or 5 months.
Yeah.
Just asking him about things, getting his, picking his brain. What should we do with this? How do we get these young players to do this? Only just to have him teed up for, all these guys. You can't just make rational decisions on firing coaches and GMs without like a backup plan or a mother plan, right?
Yeah.
And I think when he left, he just stepped aside last year, right? In Pitt. It was basically like, I'm done. One day it was like,
I think he did everything he could do there, right?
Yeah.
2 cups.
Well, yeah. Yes, totally. But it was like right in the middle of like COVID season. He's like, fuck this.
Yeah.
I'm out.
I'm going to
Spumoni. He said, I'm done.
Spumoni.
Yeah, he said, I'm done.
He said, I'm going down to Florida.
No, so maybe he wanted a chance to coach in Canada, right?
He did say that.
Or to be a president in Canada.
And he
Or
did
GM.
say there was a quote, if for you Canucks fans out there, if you're, believing whatever, he said, I had a gut feeling about going to Carolina. I won a Stanley Cup. I had a gut feeling about going to Pittsburgh. He won 2 cups. He said, I have a gut feeling about this Vancouver Canucks team that he feels like he can turn them around in the next 2 or 3 years to turn them into potential Stanley Cup contenders. So why not? And
What do
your
you
boy, Scott Walker,
Yep.
he's got the PK going.
Fucking rights he does.
Got him going.
Yeah. Face first, baby.
Couldn't get any worse.
Couldn't
Get any worse. He's got Quinn Hughes killing penalties. Quinn Hughes loves the fact that he's killing penalties.
Really?
I said, listen, buddy, you got it backwards. All right?
I get you.
You're on the power play. Don't worry about the fucking PK.
Yeah.
Like, these kids want it all.
Master of-
plays 25 minutes a night. Greener gets piped. His first thing he says is, wow, I'm really glad they're giving me an opportunity on the penalty kill. What? Because Greener wasn't playing you 27 a night? Your feelings were hurt because you weren't on the PK? You know?
Yeah,
You're
I
5 foot fuck all.
Yeah, I know.
Like, anyways. Gets me fired up. But your boy Walker's doing a good job.
Good for him.
Yeah,
That's
so
great.
Canucks are 4-0.
New wave of coaches. We need it.
We need it. Up Dog, our next segment is brought to you by our good friends at Good Life, and this is just called Old School Swag. You got some good swag on you today. You got the button up over you got the Eddie Vedder look going.
I tried, yeah.
Yeah, you got
Why
the Eddie
not?
Vedder look going.
I didn't know where we'd go after this, you know.
You never know. You got to be ready.
Girls out of town.
Is she?
Yeah,
Wow. Oh, she stayed in Aspen
she did.
just to keep the house rocking. Or does she love Aspen that much? Does she love it that much?
Yeah,
She does, yeah.
But I mean, as you know, what's there not to love, right? It's just so fucking expensive.
I'll tell you what's not to love. Your Amex bill when you come back from there is what's not to
yeah,
love.
that's true.
Up Dog, the Pittsburgh Penguins, they wear the old school black fucking tarps across the. Listen, I love them. I think they should wear them all the time. I'm going to parlay it into something here for you. We were talking about the Pittsburgh Penguins. 71 is itching to come back. He's close. He's skating. We don't know what bucket he's wearing. Princey's got him wearing a CCM, wearing a Bauer. We don't know what helmet, but he's going to be out there.
2 different
and
gloves.
it's going to be crooked because his head's crooked.
He don't give a shit. Yeah.
Up Dog, they're sitting in 4th in the Metro with 33 points. This 71 comes back. I said I would never bet against Sidney Crosby again. Not only are their jerseys fucking, I think they're about to do some serious fucking.
Berkey, baby.
The Irishman.
Your boy, the Irishman. Fuck. He's got that red face and he has just fucking got the guys fired up. He has them playing good.
He's got the tie around his neck.
Like, you know, when Sid comes back and he's starting, you know, he's getting on that hot streak. What is he still rocking? 8 gamer?
Look at this.
Did
buddy.
he still get one? I know he was
Look,
at 6th and 7. When you get Sid the Kid, I mean, when you get him back and then you get Evgeny.
Sid's got 15 points in 15
You get
games.
Evgeny back. Gensel's still out, but you get him back.
Kartsy having a nice year, 8 and 7, 15 and 24. Kasperi Kapanen.
Yeah, he went on a little soft streak.
Yeah, he just started lighting up though
Yeah.
since Sid came back. I mean, listen up.
I like their
I
team.
like their team.
I like their
I
team.
like their fucking team.
Tristan Jarry, he's been kicking.
I thought, you know, they'd be a little long in the tooth, but you put the 71 back in there and Sid. I mean, it's just when you're that good, right?
The creature of hockey.
Yeah. Like, you don't want to call him like Tom Brady because Tom Brady's about to win the MVP at 44 years old. But Sid, like, when is he going to get bad? I don't know. Like, how old is Sid? 35?
35.
He's 34. Okay, so he's not that old.
Nah,
I'm comparing
give or
to
take.
Brady. It's 10 years. My point being, like, fuck,
He
guys
could
play.
still win fucking 4 more and then be Brady.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, these superstar players, even if they get older,
Yeah.
they're smart. They take care of themselves. Sid's not going anywhere. He's going to play at least 40
Yeah,
if he
look
wants
at
to.
the size of his legs. Of course he can. Fuck. Especially when
I
no
told you
hitting.
this story about at the pool, right? When I was there with Beanie
Yeah,
and they
yeah,
came
he
in.
loved the boys.
Yeah, Beanie thought he was the nicest guy. And like
Really?
she couldn't believe how nice he was. And then I told her how much money he made, and she was like, "What? He makes that much money?" I said, "Yeah, don't be going jumping in his room or anything here." But anyways, point being, like, that's how
Did she show up late for dinner?
I'm like, "Where were you?
Yeah.
Oh, you're in Sid's room, were you?"
Was
But point
McKinnon there too?
He's such a nice guy.
Yeah.
Such a nice guy. So I think those jerseys fuck Uppy. I think the Penguins are coming. That was brought to you by our friends at Good Life, Old School Swag. Keep rocking those jerseys, boys. I love them. Princey, we come up with a clever name here, the pension line. They split them up. Daryl Sutter. Get Daryl Sutter on line 1 for me, would you? 0-4 since they broke up the pension line. What's going on up there? Why'd they break them up?
Well, they had an injury. It was Pitlick on the 3rd line got injured, so they moved Lucic up. But it's maybe obviously Sutter's not a gimmick guy or coaches aren't gimmick guys or whatever. But like, we just got it out there. We just branded them the pension line. The frickin' internet's talking about it like crazy, and then they break them up, and they haven't won a game since. So that's on them. I think they got to put them together. Obviously, they've got way bigger issues at hands than nicknaming the 4th line. But yeah, I'm a little pissed off that they changed the 4th line on us. It's not working out.
They'll put him back to better.
Yeah,
They'll put
it's
him
a
back.
little-
They
got
will
some
when the
COVID
injuries
Just
protocol.
bad timing for
Yeah.
us. Hey, we were about to send some T-shirts up to Richie, Luch, and Louie to get them wear. Like,
Yeah, I
fuck, Daryl,
know.
give us a couple weeks to get them boys in some tees.
Maybe just a couple
Yeah,
quick
they've
line
won
changes
games.
so you can get out there together. You know, Say,
Photo
fuck.
shoots
won
with the
games.
pension line shirt on.
Well, the problem is Luch is scoring, so they had no choice but to move him up. The
Fuck,
guy
how
drops
about-
off on the third. Luch is scoring, so put him up.
Classy play by the Flames too. Luch played his thousands game last year. They waited and did it this year for him. It was nice. I thought that was a nice touch
there against the Bruins.
Yeah.
Too.
against the Bruins.
Oh wow, silver stick.
Silver stick leads me into my next thing up, dog. News and notes around the NHL. Princey does a good job on this. Chris Russell, they gave him silver shin pads for 2,000 block shots. The Oilers got him silver shin pads. I thought that was fucking hilarious.
Silver shin pads.
Silver shin pads.
Who gets the silver jock?
You would get it, my friend. You would get this. You would get the silver Trojan.
I'd love to be able to say it.
The bronze Trojan
I'd
goes
love
to
to
Scotty
say I didn't
Upshaw.
wear a jock playing in this league, but I did.
Well, I guess you
gotta protect
fucking
those
did.
marbles. I'm telling you.
Marc-Andre Fleury, 500 wins, guarantees him in the Hall of Fame. Updog, is he your starting goaltender for Team Canada if they go, even though everyone has COVID, if they go?
No, sir.
Who's your starting goalie?
My boy Jordan Binnington is numero 1 on my list.
Speaking of COVID, he's got COVID.
Yeah, it's okay. He's getting to get through it.
Get through it.
You want
Get through
these
it.
guys to get through it, and hopefully know what the Vancouver Canucks was saying, the long haul COVID, the lasting, lingering effect of COVID, which has put guys on long-term vacation and early retirement.
But
Unfortunately,
that's happens to what, a couple guys?
yeah.
Because I'm over here
It's a
chirping
lingering.
COVID.
Well, Sutter has it in Van.
That guy gets hurt.
Who was our-
Of
who-
course he does. That guy gets everything. But fucking
Goalie in Ottawa.
Matt Murray. Is that why you can't stop a puck?
Yeah.
Oh well, that's
Tough, lingering, long haul COVID. So, we hope all these guys that do
So,
go into protocol come out of it and are even better than before. But yeah, there's been some issues.
so I sound like a real asshole. Hey, sorry,
No,
mom.
no.
Sorry, mom.
No, you don't. You're just telling how it is. Guys want to play hockey when they're feeling good.
Ryan Getzlav returns to the Ducks lineup. Getzey, that's the way. Just what a guy wants to come back, play. I was surprised. I turned the game on the other day. Shout out to our boy Barlow, was at the game in Pittsburgh. Sends a picture of Getzey.
Yeah,
like,
he's
fuck.
already back.
So
Yeah.
Getzey, good for you. And on sad news, my boy, the Mad Russian. I'm not going home. And Tom Qdobin placed on waivers.
Anyone pick him up?
No, he cleared today.
Cleared today.
He cleared. So he'll stay.
He'll
So
get
Buffalo
traded.
pick him up.
Does he not stay on their lineup? Like, who are their goals?
Yeah, but now
Buffalo
they
pick
can
him up?
trade him.
Why doesn't Buffalo pick him up?
They just picked up now.
Buffalo. He doesn't want to go to Buffalo. Are you nuts?
He's
I'd
fucking
rather go-
Russian.
Yeah, but I'd rather go back to Russia.
I'll
They
tell you
go to
what, he likes the
Buffalo.
hot tub with his buddies drinking champagne. I know that.
I know you know that.
I'm not
Where was
going
that?
home.
San Diego.
No, that was Big Bear.
Oh yeah, but you were playing with him in San Diego.
Yeah, he's a beauty. Mad Russian, keep your head up. A lot of good players going waivers. A lot of good players.
That's true.
A lot of good players.
Who's still making it in the Hall of Fame?
Up dog, DraftKings, baby. Top titty. Where is it? Where is it? Did you play this week? No.
We had short lineup
I
this
said
week.
no, and why? Because I was busy fucking packing the garage, baby.
Were you driving there? Or is that when you were driving, or you were already in Aspen at this point?
I was. You know what? I'm just fixing my volume here.
This is getting ridiculous. What, Princey, boys, Binger,
There
Maxie,
we
we
go.
got to up the punishment for Upshaw here. This is not,
You know
the
what
message is not getting sent,
You know
fellas.
what I'm doing right now?
The message is not getting sent. Princey, we need
Listen,
a bigger punishment for this
This is
guy.
what I'm doing right now. I'm going into my fucking calendar, and I'm setting a fucking weekly reminder.
The problem with this is
Top
I sent the link.
No,
top titty.
This is the problem. The reminder's going to go off, and Uppy's going to go, oh, I got to go top titty. And then something else, 3 seconds later, he's going to be like, oh, fuck.
See, Obes
I got
knows
to run
me.
up there and get my Christmas light that's falling off the fucking roof. And he'll forget about top titty. That's what's going to happen.
Unfortunately, that is exactly what happens.
It's
but-
okay, Uppy. You do a lot for Missin Curfew, the heart and
No,
soul.
no.
If
I
you miss-
want to compete because I'm good at it. I just
Yeah,
fucking
that's the
forget.
problem.
I don't just forget. I know it and then I forget it.
Okay, so shout out to my boy. This is hilarious. Apple Jacks.
Apple
So,
Jacks.
My baseball team, one of the baseball teams back home is called the Northumberland Whiskey Jacks, we were called. I played on this team. Kelly's Home Like Inn is the place I used to go. Shout out to Gordy Kelly Jr., Sr., Chrissy Kelly, Kevin Kelly, the Kellys. Kelly's Bar. If we ever go through Coburg, we'll stop in and have a big old Jameson shot. This guy, Donks, is a beauty, man. This guy played fastball. He won the top titty. So Donks,
Oh, shit.
This guy would chew tobacco, drink beer. He's just a guy's guy. Always had American TV too. Like he's that guy that had the box. Sorry, Donks, I don't mean to sizzle you here, but he would always be like, "Come over, I got the ESPN feed." You're like, "What?"
Oh, they're coming for him now.
Yeah, Donks, 154 points. Congratulations. Shane Taylor, my boy, told me that. So Donks, you're a beauty. Thanks for playing.
Donkey.
Congratulations. Applejack, 51. I'll see him at the home like when I go home this for Christmas here. Princey, 48th, 101 points.
What happened to you, Opes?
You know what? I might take your method. I might start sitting these fucking things out.
Oh, no. Yeah, I mean.
I'm 100th place. I'm almost dead last. Oh, no. Maxi.
Yeah. Max did submit.
Maxi didn't play either. So
neither did A-Hall.
Boys.
So.
Boys, oh, boys, oh, boys. Friday night games.
So,
right?
Uppy, you know what's funny? I was almost in last place for the guys that played. I had 71 points, and the guy that actually played had 51. So, there's room for improvement. So you need to get in. I need to get improved. Princey, 48's not bad. Who'd you have?
Not bad, yeah. I don't remember who I had. That was good.
I got it
think
right
I
here.
always. I don't even remember who I had.
I mean, this writing
I
is
know
so
I had
small.
I had a bad start. Like I was in the bottom for a long time.
You had
and then-
McKinnon. Wow.
Yeah.
Dylan Cousins. Wow, that's a ballsy pick.
Oof.
Chris
Yeah,
Kreider.
it's cheap.
Mark Stone.
Yeah.
Oshie. Hey, shout out to Brock. This Brock Besser kid. I ripped him a lot. He's actually playing really good under Bruce Boudreau. So great flow too. Cal McCarr, Nick Leddy, and Sergei Bobrovsky.
Yeah, it wasn't great.
All right. This week we got Updog. Focus in here, buddy. Big week for you. We got Vegas against the Rangers.
Fixing the calendar.
Buffalo versus Pittsburgh. Dallas, St. Louis. Capitals against the Peg. Nashville, Chicago. Arizona, Anaheim.
I'm loading up on Anaheim.
I was thinking the same thing.
I think the boys are getting fucking fired up back in Newport. They just had a little nine-day road trip.
Yeah, they had played unbelievable.
They are, yeah. Still.
How about these Nashville Predators?
What are the Preds doing?
Buddy, they're 17-10. Look at this.
That Preds game might not happen, boys.
That's true.
They're 17-10 up. They're second in the Central Division. I'm going heavy Anaheim. And then I might take a couple of the Rangers at home. I know they're playing against Vegas, but they fuck at home. Panarin, he loves it.
He does.
So many Russian places to eat in New York City. He feels good there.
The bathhouses.
Yeah. DraftKings Saturday night lock of the week. DraftKings Saturday night lock
Alaka.
/ Survivor Pool now. Thanks to Fast Willie.
I don't know why I'm just not betting on these teams. I'm just...
You're smoking us.
I mean, come on.
You're 5-1. Princey, you get first pick, my friend. Who is your DraftKings Saturday night lock?
Oh, boys, I got to look at this one here. I'm looking at this right now. I think I'm not going to go the home team. Last week, we all did home teams. I'm going to take Boston Bruins on the road in Montreal, take out the Canadians.
You're going original six battle of the Bees going into
Original six battle,
stinky
night out in
Montreal.
Montreal after the win.
Okay. Up dog, it's me. Fuck. I'm going to take... I can't take Carolina. Fuck, Uppy.
I don't think Carolina's going to be playing on Saturday either.
Fuck.
I'll go. You want to think about it?
Yeah, go ahead.
I am taking the Philadelphia Flyers over the Ottawa Senators.
Fuck, I didn't even see that.
So Fly guys, do me proud. You're back on a winning streak. Let's go. Come on.
All right, I'm going to take the Detroit Red Wings at home against the New Jersey Devils. I got the Wings. Updog's got his old Broad Street Bully Flyers, and Princey's got the Bees. Updog, always a pleasure. Good to have you back.
Yes,
Princey,
sir.
the man.
My
We got a
man.
great guest coming up next. Talk World Juniors, Olympic, everything coming at you. Updog, good life. I got a tarp on right here, a Henley, letting it breathe a little bit, eh? Letting
Nice.
it air out a little bit.
I
letting it air
mean,
out
they
a bit.
rock and roll with the T-shirts, fella.
Let
They
it air
have
out.
them.
Gotta let it air
mastered.
out. Let it air out.
Air that baby out.
There's so many things I love about Good Life, but they're team guys. Team guys. Tell me why even more. Tell me why.
Team guys and team girls.
Team guys and
That
team
girl
girls.
stuff is awesome. For all you guys listeners out there that's been listening to the boys talk about how good they look and how nice the tarps feel, do not hesitate. go to goodlifeclothing.com, jump in the women's section and just shoot fire at the website and get your girl some just amazing clothes for Christmas. What do you think?
Comfy stuff, bud.
It is comfy,
stuff.
great colors. Your girl will love you forever, even though you've been a bad sailor.
Yeah, listen. You get her on the couch with the comfy clothes on, the glass of wine, and the
game
fireplace, throw on Yellowstone or whatever you're watching. Good life,
game,
baby.
set, match.
And the team guys, glue guys they are at Good Life. Classy.
For a limited time only, Good Life is supporting the 11 Fund, Jimmy Hayes' fund. And at checkout, use the promo code MISSIN-JIMMY, that's MISSIN Jimmy, for 20% off your purchase order, and 10% of the proceeds will be going to the 11 Fund. So thank you to our friends at Good Life, and thank you to our listeners for your continued support.
Broadway Jimmy Scoops. Welcome back to Missin Curfew. Up, dog. It's that time of year, right? We got the studio, we got the Christmas stuff.
Look at this. Jingle bell,
You're
bell.
a former World Junior player. I never had the luxury of, or the privilege of playing there. So we think World Juniors. This is one of the guys I think of him. You were lucky enough to get him on.
Yeah, and I got to be honest, this guy was like a big brother to me my first day being with TSN at the trade deadline day. He comes in and he welcomes me with a big smile, tells a few jokes, and just like he was a manager back in the day. I'm sure he was like that with his players. But Mr. Craig Button, thank you for coming on. We know you're a busy man, so we appreciate you coming on Missin Curfew.
Yeah, no, my pleasure. Thanks for having me on. You know, Shane, you talk about the privilege of being able to play, and you see the kids. They grow up with the tournament on their TV screens at Christmas, right? And Scotty, it was no different for you, right? And then you start thinking about playing, representing your country, and it's pretty cool. You got to play in Halifax. And, it's a different tournament when it's in Canada as opposed to where it is in other countries. And, the fans and the environment in Canada make it really, really special. And, the kids growing up, this is what they dream of. And so you're right. It is a privilege to play for your country. And Scotty, you had a great opportunity to do that. And you did it in front of the Canadian fans.
No, you're right. And for our new listeners, and we get a lot of, we have a lot of listeners down in California and whatever, but you just touched on it. For us Canadian kids, we grow up, we might have a favorite NHL team, but like we all cheer for Canada at the World Juniors. It's like it's let's just say it's religion. It's it's Santa Claus coming down the chimney for most of us, right? Like watching that first game on usually Canada Day or Boxing Day or Canada Day, Christmas Day. So I was very fortunate. Obi and I talks about this. He's a Canadian and a World Junior guy at heart, although he never played. You were right there with us.
Yeah.
I swear I feel that out of you. But I had two chances to play. Once in Czech Republic, we played in Prague. Remember, my dad came over, and it was just an epic experience. And then, like you said, in Halifax. And there is nothing like playing in front of Canadian fans as a junior kid. And this year, Alberta, it's got to be rocking. I mean, last year the tournament it went up in arms, right? There was no fans. It was tough. So can you describe maybe what that atmosphere is going to be like for these kids again to play in front of this crowd in Edmonton?
It's going to be special because, even last year with no fans in the building and where the hotel is by Rogers Center, the Marriott, fans were coming because the players would walk over the overpass and fans would come. I mean, there'd be, I don't know, 40, 50 fans in their Team Canada jerseys and their signs, wishing everybody luck, honking their horns, because they knew when the players were making their way over to the rink, to get prepared for the game. And, you call the game and you're in the arena and you're just kind of watching the play and it's good players. But it was noticeable what was missing. And what's missing is as you guys, and you use the juice in the building. There was the electricity in the building. And, even when you think about the gold medal game, and the USA played a great game, but there would be moments in that game where there could be a player from Canada or the team, the bench could get some juice from the fans starting to chant and getting going, a big hit, something that gets the players going. It wasn't there last year, and it'll be there this year. And I think for the players, that participated in the tournament last year without fans, to see what it's like this year and compare the two, I mean, it's an exciting time, and the fans make it. The players are great. It's a best on best, but the fans make it really, really special. And it's going to be, I think the fans are ready to unleash too, because they couldn't do it last year, and now they're going to get that chance this year.
The beers are going to be flying in Alberta.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, Butsy, you bring up last year's World Junior, and me and Updog, we bet, our buddy who's no longer with us, Broadway Jimmy Hayes and Kevin Collin, we bet him a ball of Camus. And anyways, USA broke our heart. Zegras, Spencer Knight. Is there any kids on America like Zegras coming in now? And real quick, we talked about it. What did you think about his flip pass and stuff like that real quick, just because we touched about it on the podcast today?
I saw Scotty try that a few times like when he was in Kamloops. Like, see, Scotty was way ahead of his time. See, like Shane, Scotty. I got to watch Scotty when he was 15 and 16 years of age. One of the things about Scotty is I have to believe that you have to appreciate Trevor Zegras, because I use this word in the most glowing and complimentary ways. Bold. You had a boldness to your game, Scotty. You had a confidence, and it was a different era. When John Tortorella talks about, hey, somebody might have taken your head off, that's true, because that's just the way it was then. It's not the way now. And I think Trevor, the confidence that he has, I mean, I've seen that from the time he was with the National Team Development Program. And, it's one thing to have the skill, but I say there's no limits to his confidence either. He's ready and willing to try those things. And, I mean, he was magnificent last year. I got to share a quick story with you guys. So I watched that 01 group from the National Team Development Program, grow up, covering them for a lot of years. So it was before the quarterfinal match, and I'm talking to Zegras, Alex Turcotte, and Cole Caulfield. Zegras kind of gives me a little bit. He goes, "So you don't think we can win?" Because I picked Canada to win. And I said, "Well, I know how these tournaments are." And he goes, "Yeah, you don't think we can win, right?" And I said, "Hang on a second here." I said, your 01 team at the U18 tournament, I said, I didn't think anybody could ever beat you guys, ever, because that's how good you were. I said, you lost in the semifinal in a shootout to Russia. So I said, if you guys can lose, I guess this Canadian team can lose. He goes, oh, okay, that's fair. Yeah. I have to give him a little jolt there to let him know that as good as that team was, they were great. They ended up losing their shootout. It happens. And last year, that Canadian team was phenomenal, but the USA found a way to beat them. And Spencer Knight was a big part of it. Zegras was phenomenal.
Yeah, and you talk about that Canadian team last year, and they didn't have any adversity till that final game, right? It was a pretty good cakewalk, and then that game started, and me and Uppy, we felt like kids again. We were at our house. I mean, I think he had a Canadian jersey on. Like, we were invested in it, and they had some adversity, and you could kind of see the panic, maybe not panic, but nerves kind of set in for Team Canada when they realized, this isn't going to be easy.
And it wasn't easy, and the U.S. made it difficult for them right from the get-go. They really did. And they said, this is going to be a hard game, and they made it hard. And you're right. And Canada started to carry a little bit of play. Well, you got Spencer Knight in the net. You have Jake Sanderson on the blue line. Brock Faber, who's an LA Kings draft pick. I mean, he didn't get talked a lot about, but he was a big part of that team. And then, Zegras and Turcotte, coming back for their second goal. Scotty, from an 18-year-old and coming back as a 19-year-old, there is a significant difference in terms of understanding what the tournament is. You've been to another NHL training camp. You got a little bit more confidence there. But you're right, Shane, when you talk about the adversity. And I think as they got into the third period, they got a little bit more comfortable trying to carry play. But by that point, the U.S. was entrenched. And, Spencer Knight is the one backstopping you too. And, that's a nice little comfort too. But I will say one thing when you ask me about Zegras is that Matty Beniers returns this year. And I think that Matty Beniers – has the potential to have an impact like Zegras did last year for this Team USA. Kraken second overall pick, and he's got a big motor and he's got lots of skill.
And Butsy, just the last thing about Zegras here, and listen, me and Uppy love the kid. I think the play was super skilled. I met him at Getzov's golf tournament. His swag's through the roof. I think he's good for the game. Yeah. If you were the general manager, though, put your GM hat on, and this young kid comes into your dressing room and he doesn't shut up and this and that, would that have ever been like, hey, easy kid, like you got to kind of keep it down here for a while?
Do you know what I feel, guys? And I really feel, and the dressing room is the players. The locker room is for the players. And it to me, when you have really good people in your dressing room and players that can deal with it and guide you and support you and let you be yourself, but also understand, hey, listen, do you understand what this means? Whatever it may be. I'm not talking about the play. I never ever that was the player's sanctuary. And to me, you're talking to players and you're saying, but to me, that's what makes good teams. That's what makes, and I don't care what type of team you are, whether you're a hockey team, a corporate team, whatever it is, it's the people that manage it within. And then when you have really good people, and so you think about Ryan Getzlaf, and Shane, you know him really well. So think about Ryan. So Ryan was young. Ryan, and him and Corey Perry, when you were playing with, I mean, Corey was brash. It is brash. You love it, right?
That's a good point.
But they learned from the Prongers and the Niedermeyers, and the Prongers and the Niedermeyers kind of helped them. And then now Getzlaf is helping the other young players. That's to me culture. That's to me how it works. And I would never be one to go and tell, the dressing room, the players, this is how the culture needs to be. Hopefully what you're doing is you're building and players are coming into your team. You know what type of player, type of person you're looking for. So I always would entrust that to the players on the team.
Yeah, that's a good open mind because you got to let people have their own personalities. You got to let them flourish. And if this young kid is a guy that likes to laugh and likes to have a smile on his face and come to the rink and he's the one that you count on for the energy and as a younger guy, your older guys sit around, whether it's at a dinner or on the plane, and they want you to kind of tell some stories. They want you to sit at the card table with them, even though they want you to earn it, they still want you there. You're part of the team. And when you say that, it's nice to have an outlook on that where, a guy like Getzlaf can kind of keep him reeled in a little bit, but let him be his, curly hair, goofy kid that probably, plays his video games and just does amazing things with the puck. I told Getzy on our podcast, I'm like, this kid kind of reminds me of me, Getzy. I got to say, I had the curly hair when I was young. And he's like, yeah, but he's way better fucking hands up, dog. So I'm like, okay, I get it. The kid
works the half full a little better than you, Uppy, but other than that, yeah.
Which Butsy kind of gets me into my next thing. You've seen, you've taken
Can
on.
I say one thing?
Yeah.
Scotty was a North-South player.
Yeah, exactly. Sometime I didn't know where the border was. I go right through the wall though. I just be like, sometimes slow down. But I had one speed. It brings me to this, you've been covering, the World Juniors and junior hockey a lot over the last couple of years and done a great job with it. The youth in today's game and the stars from all over the world, there's numerous young kids coming up and making serious impacts, right away in the NHL. Where do you see the game continually going? Is it skilled? Is there old school coming up in this new generation of kids, or is it all that really high skilled, speed, that style of game that we're going to see for generations coming up?
Well, I think that speed and the skill is unbelievable. I was at a Silver Stick for a couple days in Ontario, which is the best U16 players, from Ontario and the United States. There were some teams from Western Canada. The Edmonton U16 team was there. And a lot of these kids hadn't played for 16 months. I was blown away. I was blown away by the speed, the way they executed that speed. But, I think that and both of you played in an era where the game was more, I would call, physically robust. With the hitting and the physical, the body checking. I think the game now is still physically challenging, but in a different way. When you're trying to get inside position, you don't have to worry as much about somebody coming across the middle like Shane O'Brien ready to nail you, right? But, to get inside, it's still hard. And so those battles along the boards, it's not as physically robust in terms of body checking, but it's physically challenging. And I think that's where we're headed. I think we're headed there because that's the way the rules are, right? There's things you just can't do. Shane, think about when you were coming through junior and coming up. Those things you had to do to be successful as an NHL defenseman. That if you do those things now, you're going to be in the penalty box. Darren Hatcher told me when he retired, he was a big beast of a player.
Oh, yeah.
And a real important part of our Dallas Stars success. But when he retired, he told me, he says, I had to retire. I was going to be in the penalty box every time I went on the ice. The game changed that rapidly coming out of the 04-05 lockout. So I think that's where the game and the rules have played a part in that too.
It's so fun. I just want to say this. Yeah. You talk about it being hard in other ways where it's just not so hard physically. Like our coaches in our era, in order to make us like understand the battle and you don't play well, so like it's going to be a hard practice, they would put the nets in the corner where you couldn't move, and it would just be a cross-checking fest.
That's my favorite drill, Butsy. It's my favorite drill.
And to me, like Butsy, I found that, like, I loved it. It was like, okay, this is great. This is hard, but it's great. Then, as you know, my career went on in my last couple of years, it was like stop, start. You know, the hard plays at the end of practice were more these like skating drills where you had to control the puck. You had to get, like you say, inside position. The whole mentality of like working hard and sending a message from the coaches became like, more of a highly skilled, get tired with your legs because it's such a skating game. So you hit it right on the head. It's the days of the cross checking and being in front of the net it's dead.
It's sad.
I'm not so sure.
It's sad.
Yeah,
we're old school here, Butsy.
There's a number of players that share that same view. And I was talking to Dion Phaneuf, and he was talking about it, and I said, "Well, Dion," I said, "You're born in 1985." So your form, you're playing the game growing up in the 90s. You're now in junior in the early 2000s. That's what you knew. That's the way it was. So understandably so. I really believe this too. I don't think Zegras gets to make that. He might be able to make the flip play. I don't think Milano gets a chance to finish that play if we're last year in the NHL with the cross-check.
For sure.
Because he would have been cross-checked out.
100%.
If somebody would have said, "Hey, you're in front of the net." No way, buddy. You're gone. So I think in a span of a year that play occurs because of the rules, because of the enforcement on cross-checking. Last year, there's no way. I'd say he would have been taken right out of there.
It's a great point. I never thought about that. It's absolutely true. And Butsy, real quick before we move into the World Junior stuff, just about I know you went and watched the midgets play, and me and Uppy talk a lot about these young kids not being able to take a hit. They're not prepared to take a hit. My question to you, the next wave that's coming, is it going to get even more like that? Is it going to be these guys getting the NHL and they're getting, hammered because they've never been hit in midget hockey, or is that too drastic?
No, I'm a big believer, and I've said this for a long time, and I use football as an example. There's a way to tackle, right? And there's a way to body check. And, I think that we have, personally, I understand the safety part of it at young ages. But if it's going to be a skill in the game, we got to start teaching it at a younger age.
Yeah.
And we got to allow, and I'm not saying full on body contact, but getting play, you guys talk about the battle drills. So why don't we take kids when they're 8, 9, 10 and show them along the boards? It doesn't mean that you allow these big thundering body checks, but show them how to absorb a hit and show them how to get themselves in position. I mean, Nathan McKinnon, who's a top player in the league, gets caught by Jacob Trouba, right? Coming on the heels. Kara gets caught by Trouba, and then we see the play the other night where Jacob McDonald gets hit by Ryan Lomberg. Yeah. All three totally clean hits. Yeah. That you guys know this clearly, that you could say you better be aware of who you're out on the ice
exactly.
and where you are on the ice. So I think it. I think if we don't teach it and allow kids to learn it at a younger age, then we're going to see more vulnerability, but we're also probably going to see less of those types of body checking. And because tackling isn't out of football, and open field tackles aren't out of football. There is a safety component to it, and I think we have to keep that, but we also have to teach the skill. It's a skill.
I agree. Butsy, let's talk Team Canada World Juniors here. I want to start with the head coach, my former coach in St. Mike's, Dave Cameron. Coach Cameron, he was great. I went from Larry Mavry to him. I couldn't have made it without him, but he was coaching over in Austria. What do you think about him? I know he got the job because of what's his name in Arizona got the head job.
Andre Tournier.
Yeah, thank you. But what do you think about Coach Cameron? Just a very passionate guy.
Well, you're right about that. And Dave said to me, he goes, he just loves working with young players. He loves the junior level. I mean, he's coached in pro, he's coached in the NHL, but he coached in 09 and 10, as an assistant coach before being the head coach in 2011. They win the gold medal in 09. They lose the gold medal game in overtime, John Carlson with the winner in Saskatoon. And then, that Russian comeback in 2011. Dave has a really good understanding of this age group. And because, Shane from not just him coaching, but he worked with kids that were, the young kids in Prince Edward Island, to help them, with respect to just getting their lives in order. So he's worked with young people, and he's a believer in young people, and he's a developer of young people. And I think that he'll do a terrific job with this team, because he's going to say, here's what we're going to do, but he's also going to allow players to be themselves. And he's going to say, hey, listen, Connor Bedard or Shane Wright or Cole Perfetti, you have a skill set, go and play. But we're going to play like this as a team. And Shane, there's certain things any good coach isn't going to compromise on. And Dave's not going to compromise on the intensity, the competitiveness. And if you're going to take shortcuts, you're going to find a shortcut to the bench, and maybe out of the lineup. That's
the best way to describe him, I think, is because I went from an old school coach to Dave, and that's what took me to realize there's no shortcuts in his practices and the way you play. And he's actually a funny guy. I remember one guy. Do you remember Craig Foster? That name, Craig Foster, played in St. Mike's.
I sure do.
So Dave had the scale by his dressing room at St. Mike's in the old barn. It was a small little rink. So Fozzie every day would go weigh in stark naked. And I'm like, buddy, it's right by the coach's office. Like, you should, maybe throw a towel on it, because he wasn't exactly jacked, right? So the one day Fozzie's on the scale, stark naked. Dave comes out. He goes, hey, Fozzie. He's like, yeah, what's up, coach? He's like, you want to play in the NHL? He's like, yeah. He goes, we're going to have to do something about that body then. The way he just had the best chirps all the time. So he was very passionate, but at the same time, he made it fun to come to the rink.
Yeah, he does. And he noticed things, right? Like, don't think Dave doesn't notice what's going on. He's very attuned to what's going on.
Absolutely.
Too.
And World Junior, just to follow up on it, World Junior coach, you have such a short period of time, but you usually start to know your players like in the summer at like an evaluation camp or development camp. And then come time like the training camp, and I actually want to ask you about this in a second, Butsy, but you have to be the guy that kind of gets them on the right path, but then you need to kind of let them go eventually. You got to let the kids kind of understand the position they're in, just give them a good little thing and then let them go. Like I had Stan Butler, who again was a lifer junior coach, Stan Butler. And then I had Mark Habscheid, who was I was playing in Kamloops, and Habscheid, Eagle is his nickname. Gretzky gave him that nickname back in the day because he looked like the hawk. He looked like the Black
Hawk.
Or Hawk, they called him.
Two OHL coaches you had. Those are both OHL guys, right?
Mark Habscheid was Kelowna. So I played in Kamloops, and he was our opposing, so he's seen a lot of me. But anyways, what they were both just great at was had the system, let the kids understand, this is World Juniors. We're here for 2 weeks. You're going to have these memories for a lifetime. This is going to be a lifetime of memories. And then you just kind of got to, get them right there and then let them go. Because, they're all at such an elite level at this age that, worrying about, trying to play a head game here or this there, it's time that these kids are just ready to rock. So that.
You're so right. A few years back, the Team Canada was playing, and the other thing too, and as young players, it doesn't matter. Shane going into junior, Scotty, you're going to play for the team. You don't want to make mistakes. No player, the next player that tries to make a mistake is going to be the first one. Nobody tries to make mistakes, right? But then you get worried about making a mistake, and now you can't play your game. And so they were in the tournament. They were in the World Junior tournament. I grabbed Tom Rennie. I said, Tom, these players are tighter than a drum. You know what? He goes, yeah, I know. I said, well, you've coached. Get in there. Work with the coaching group. Try to get them, because they're not relaxed and the team isn't relaxed, and it's showing, right? Yeah. And you could just, I knew it. You could feel it. You're talking to guys and you could just see it there, right? And Tom said, he goes, yeah, I know, but I don't want to interfere. I said, you're not an interferer. You get in there and guide and try to help them and everything. And, they didn't win that tournament, but that was a key thing, I think, for Tom to go in there and just kind of impress upon the coaching staff, hey, you know what? I know what you're trying to do, but the kids are tight, and let them play, right? And you know, when you can play free, when I call it playing free, and not be worried, you just go and play, right? And not only can you do it well, you also have fun doing it well.
Being in the flow state, they call it.
Yeah.
Just being right there. So, hey, talking about training.
I'm using that term.
Yeah. Okay. Well, there you go. There you go. I've been in the flow state for a while now. These 2 alumni games I played in lately, I've been quite impressive. I'm pretty happy with my game still. But training camps for World Junior kids has been something that difficult for a lot, heartbreaking for most. But, you know, at the end of the day, they have to pick only 22 guys to go to this tournament. And, you know, some kids are left, you know, on the sidelines and heartbroken because it is a dream come true. Others ready to rock, and you only have like 3 or 4 days to get ready. How are the training camps still? Are they still, do they bring them to a place with COVID, or are they just picking the team? And I should know this right now. But we would we would all go to Toronto on the, you know, let's just say it'd be the 18th or 19th of December. We would have a 5-day training camp, and, you know, you basically get a phone call from the coach or someone saying, you know, meet me up in the room. And, you know, you were either released. And one year, actually, Mark Habscheid had called me, and I was with Matt Stajan, and I had already played the year before. So this is kind of a funny story, but if the phone rang, I knew it was going to be for Stage, not me, because I was a second-year guy, right? And I'm like, okay. Well, the phone rang, and Stage just, you know, guy he is, got up and grabbed the phone and was like, holy shit, Uppy, it's for you. And I'm like, what? Like, it's for me. Like, and thinking, they can't cut me, can they? Like this. So Haber's like, Uppy, it's Mark. Can I see you up in the room? And I'm like, oh my God. So I'm like, shit, I gear up going up there. Now I'm like, what the hell is he going to tell me? And he brings me in and sits down with a straight face with the coaching staff. And I'm like, what's going on, guys? Is this what I think it is? And he's like, yeah, it's been a tough, you know. And I'm like, holy shit. And he's like, I'm just kidding. You're gonna be in our leadership group. You know, I'm gonna give you a letter. I'm gonna make you the captain, actually. But to me, that phone call, you know, does that still happen? Is that like the way they do things still?
Yeah, I mean, so this year because of COVID, right? There's certain regulations in place. All the teams on December 15th had to go into a quarantine for 48 hours. So all the final rosters have to be made, you know, before they were going into that quarantine. And they've expanded last year and this year, 25 players, just in case of, you know, COVID issues. Anyway, it's interesting. So they had the camp in Calgary, 4 days. They practiced for a couple of days, trying to get the concepts into place. And then they played 2 games against U Sports, which is Canadian College, Alberta, Mount Royal University, University of Calgary, Edmonton.
The Golden Bears,
Calgary.
The Golden Bears.
So they put all former Western League players that have played, or junior players. So they played, but the players that weren't playing, there was 11 of them, I think. Like, it was pretty clear they were on the team. They didn't play. Like, you know, you see the roster and you go, okay. So it becomes pretty clear to the rest of the group, okay, this is the group trying out for spots.
Yeah.
And then they play, right? And then, they make the decisions. They brought them back to the hotel, and then they try to bring them in and face to face, and, you know, then they announce the team. One of the real heartbreaking stories for this year's team, I mean, it's always heartbreaking when you don't make the team, when you even that. But Damon Hunt, the defenseman with Moose Jaw, he was going to be an automatic on this team. He was clearly going to be on the team. Second period of the second game, he goes down to block a shot, ends up take him to the hospital, broken hand, can't play. You know, so, you know, his misfortune is somebody else's fortune, but you really do feel for Damon, who was on the team 100%. But, you know, now somebody else gets that opportunity. But, you know, the short period of time, and what I think too is that the players get to a point, you're watching them probably in the second half of the second game, and you start to see the players that realize, I better do something.
Yeah.
I better do something.
Yeah. I better run somebody or something here.
Yeah, exactly, Shane. And some of them just never get good players sometimes just never get their feet underneath them at the camp. Scotty, you know that? And like other players who you might not have expected, find their way into the lineup and everything, that's never going to change. But, the same thing, the heartbreak, the call, having to tell players, hey, listen, thanks for coming out here. And, again, Shane, I'm going to go back to what you said. It's a privilege. Like the players all know you get invited, and, that's one part of the privilege. The greater privilege is being able to be representing your team during the World Junior Championship. So that's how they do it. It's not those early morning calls, Scott.
Yeah.
Where you're in your hotel room where you don't sleep at night.
You don't sleep at night. It's brutal.
It's funny you say that about guys not being able to get it going at that camp. And I was, never got invited. Or I don't know if I was close to it, but I always would think going to that camp, how intimidating it would be to be a guy that, because like you said, through my years, the guys that were 100% on the team, I thought about those guys that were trying to make the team, how intimidating and how hard it would be to maybe get your game going and find your stride in a short period of time like that.
Yeah, and it is. And you can see, they try. Like, I'll give you an example. Luke Evangelista was released from the team. He plays in London, Nashville Predators draft pick. Terrific player, like scores, makes plays, competitive, and skates. He just never found his footing. He just never. He was trying hard, but nothing. He just couldn't get going. And and you could see him. He was one of the players you could see, because I fully expected him to be on the team, but he was one of those guys that just couldn't. As hard as he tried, it just didn't work for him for those 4 days. And he's a good player. He's, in my view, he's going to have a good career, but He's going to have the disappointment of not making this team with him forever.
Butsy, let's talk about some guys that made this squad. And I want to talk to you first, for me as a kid, Mason McTavish, a kid that I watched a lot out here in Anaheim, a kid that I thought, honestly, Butsy, I didn't think the Ducks should have sent him back. I get it. His contract, they got Quomtas coming back. What kind of impact can he play? And I love his old school mentality. Like, he goes to the net, he finishes his checks. What kind of role we have on this team?
Prominent. I think that he'll be at the front of the line. He doesn't want to be in the middle of the line or at the back of the line. He wants to be at the front of the line. Bob McKenzie used the word gnarly to describe Mason's game.
I like that.
Like, he's got skill, but I like that word. Like, he's gnarly. And, he can shoot the puck. He'll play right in the trenches, and he'll get after you. Like, he likes to impose his physical will on you. And it's no fun playing against Mason. Yeah. And he's going to have one of the things too, Shane, from the time you saw him too, I saw him play in Peterborough a week before the camp. And he was just a little bit lighter, which made him a little bit quicker, which makes him a little bit more already impactful, because he can get to you a lot quicker. Because when he's coming at you physically, he's not coming to introduce himself. He's coming to bang on your door and let you know, hey, you know what? I knocked on your door. What are you going to do? Are you going to answer it or no?
That's another reason I like him. He's got a little of that baby fat on him still. Reminds me of I'm like, this poor kid, he's going to battle the same thing I did. They're going to say, hey, you got to lose 5 pounds because you're going to be quicker and this and that. But everything you just said about him, that's what I love about his
Canadian
game.
Hockey.
Yeah, I love him. You're
going to need that.
He has that in him.
Butsy, we're all excited to see Connor Bedard. He joins an elite group of players playing as a 16-year-old in this tournament. The last one being Mr. McDavid. Before that, 2 guys I played with, Spezza and Jay Bowmeister. What do we get to expect out of this kid? Is he the real deal? Will he play a lot? What are we thinking? What kind of impact is he going to have with Team Canada?
He is the real deal. And, when you're a young player like that, and like all good young players, there's expectations on them. And Connor, he's got the spotlight on him, but he's always met the high expectations. He's always met them. And it doesn't matter. He steps into the Western Hockey League as a kid, as a kid. And, dominates, goes to the U18, dominates. He came to this camp, and in the 2 games, he was the best player. Like, he wasn't just, oh yeah, he belongs. Yeah, he looks good. He was the best player. And, he goes to the World Junior. I mean, Shane, you talk about Dave Cameron, and they know him, and they know what he's capable of. So they're going to allow him to get into those spots and see what he can do. Here's what I'll say. Just don't bet against him. Yeah. Like, if the bar's here he finds a way to get above the bar here. Like, you know, if this was the Olympic high jump, he's not settling for a tie for the gold medal. He's saying, I want the bar raised and I'm going to try to go higher. And, you know, every time I've seen him play in high level competition, he's always exceeded the expectations. He's special. He's a special player.
Butsy, speaking about special players, besides Mason McTavish, this guy, Owen Power out of University of Michigan, first overall. I got to be honest with you, I haven't seen him play a whole lot. They talk about Hedman, this and that. What can we expect from this kid? I mean, they're having an unbelievable year at Michigan. They're a powerhouse. What kind of impact will this guy have on this tournament?
Well, you know, he's a different type of player in this regard. So when I use this comparable with him, and you both know him very well, Owen's not edgy like Chris Pronger, but he has the thinking like Chris Pronger in the game. You know, that guy can just control the game and like makes it look easy, like passing the puck, defending, whatever. I mean, Chris was a mean dude, and you know he lets you know, like in a lot of different ways, don't come near me. Owen's got that calm on the ice and that ability. He can play 35 minutes. He can play 35 minutes and not break a sweat, or appear by appearances not break a sweat. He has that type of thinking in the game, that type of ability, anticipating, reading the play, pinpoint passer in the offensive zone. He knows how to get the puck into the net. He joins the rush. He really is a top-notch player. So outside of the edge, you know, I know, you know, Victor Hedman's a current player and a top player, but from the first time I saw Owen play, the thinking reminded me right of Chris Pronger.
I wonder if he's going to just spear you right in the teeth, too.
I love Pronger.
Hey, you come near me, you're getting a stick right in the face.
You want to talk about, I make the Ducks team, Butsy, and Chris, you want to talk about intimidation walking in the dressing room with Chris Pronger? I was just like, thank God he ended up liking me. He had me over for Thanksgiving dinner, and we're still friends this day. But you were intimidating him as a young guy when he's on your squad, let alone playing against him.
I always heard he was kind of hard on the young guys.
Poor Ryan Shannon, Butsy. He didn't know the rules. He came from Boston College, and I tried to warn him. I said, hey, you don't get on the plane. You don't get on the bus. You don't dare go get the food before the big boys. And one day he jumped on that plane before Prongs, and Prongs let him have it. And I was like, Shanny, I don't think it's personal, buddy, but fuck it. For the rest of their Shanny was just sitting there, last guy on the plane the rest of the year. So,
well, and Scotty, to your point, like, Pronger gave nobody a free pass.
No,
like you didn't get a free pass on the ice, and you didn't get I've known Chris since he was 12 years old. My wife's aunt worked with his dad, so I've known the Prongers forever, right? And so trust me, when he was 14, he didn't give anybody a free pass, and today he's still not giving anybody a free pass.
No.
The way he practiced the year I played with him, my rookie year, like I was so lucky I had him and Robbie Niedermeyer, or Scotty Niedermeyer, sorry. But the way Prongs practiced every day and the intensity, I was like, this is.
Oh, that's what makes guys great, and you also have arms the size of a gorilla, and you just talk to me about.
And he wasn't afraid to spear you right in the throat.
Yeah, no, he loved it,
and he looked good in that Canada jersey. You guys will appreciate
this. I got to share this quick story with you. You'll appreciate this. So we're in Dallas, and Pronger's playing for St. Louis. Ken Hitchcock's our coach. So Ken's all bothered by Pronger because Pronger's ruling the game. He's got everybody unsettled and everything. And so Ken has this brilliant idea that somebody's got to run Pronger. And so Rick Wilson, our assistant coach, says to him, he goes, yeah, Ken, who would that be? He goes, well, maybe this guy. He goes, well, Pronger's not going to go out on the ice against him. Right? Like, you know, like they're not going to put him. He's going out against our best players. So he kind of goes, well, maybe Beaker can run at him. He goes, well, how's Beaker going to get near him? Like Beaker's 5'9" and Pronger's 6'7" or 6'5", right? He goes, Beaker's going to come at him and he's going to get this.
Yeah, exactly.
so now Hitch is getting frustrated and everything. He goes, oh, I guess we got to play it straight up with Pronger. Rick Wilson says, yeah, I think nobody's going to run Pronger.
Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't a let him sleep plan either, because you let him sleep, he's still just the best player on the ice.
Fuck, he was dangerous.
Play it straight up.
One more guy I have him circled here is Shane Wright. What do you got on him? Is he going to be a kid like leading the charge, leading the way?
And I saw, to piggyback that question, I saw projected lines. Did I see him on the fourth line, Butsy? Is that accurate, or what the fuck did I see?
Well, no, but they're going to start off. I mean, one of the things that we learn, I think, through the Olympic team and the junior team, how they start doesn't necessarily mean how they're going to end up or proceed. So they start. Kent Johnson has not joined the team yet from the University of Michigan. He's still going through some protocols. They've COVID. They think he'll be on the team. They say he'll be fine. So I think they're just working. I think they also had Bedard as the 13th forward, or the fourth. So I wouldn't read a lot into that. I think sometimes they're trying to put it in. What I would say about Shane, right, is that I don't think Shane, when we talk about the Ridley Greggs and the Mason McTavishes and, like Maverick Bourque, you might not know the name. He's just such a good player, and he doesn't have a lot of fanfare to him. And I think that Shane is going to be a good player here, but I don't think he needs to be a frontline player to be a good player here or to contribute to the team. I see him more along the lines of, you think about the 05 World Junior team, and Getzlaf was on that team and Perry was on that team. And Crosby was on that team, but Crosby wasn't a frontline player on that team. Bergeron, he was good. Don't get me wrong, but he was a part of that team and he contributed to it. I see Shane being more along those lines with this team than being the headliner. Because I think they have enough guys. Perfetti's going to be, I think, a real frontline top-end player. I think Gunther has a chance to be a real top-end player. And we talked about McTavish and Greg. And, so I just see I see Shane as being a good, solid player for this team. And if he ends up being frontline, that would be great. But I see him more along 05, Grand Forks and where Crosby was at.
Butsy, I want to ask you about, I went over and played half a year in Finland, and I remember texting Uppy and Loops and being like, hey boys, these Finns are coming. I'm telling you, these young kids, they run the fucking rink, they run the stairs, all they do is work out. They're on the ice from, there's only sunlight for 4 hours, but they're on the ice the whole time. It's sunny there. Just talk about how that junior program has come along, and are they a threat this year in the tournament?
Yep, they're a threat in any tournament they go into. They're a threat at the World Championships, the Olympics, the Junior Tournament, the Women's World Championships.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter where they go and play. It's the mindset of the country. It's the mindset of the players. It's ingrained in them. And so I always say this. If you bet against the Finns, do it at your own peril. It'll be a mistake. Because does that mean they're going to win? No, but never bet against them. Because, they might not be star-studded, but they play together. They play together, and to your point, they play hard, and they play smart, and they frustrate you. And then you think you got them, and you think you got them backed up, and you think you might have them beat down. You never do. You never do, and they always find a way to rise up, and they're great competitors. And they have a little guy on their team. I'm going to say he's probably 5'5.5", maybe. He's a centerman, and but he's not a great player, but you know what he is? He's like that little bug that you can't get rid of. It keeps showing up. And you can't swat him away.
Like the fly I had on my TV last night.
Yeah. And he's right where, and he knows that he comes and gets in your ear. And where's that bug, right? And by the time you're slapping your ear, he's in your other ear. And that's how the Finns play. And this guy's just don't ask me to pronounce his name. I think it's pronounced Retui or something like that. So I'm going to jump you there because I can't get his name right.
I would turn the volume up on the TV in Finland, and the word would be that long. I'm like, how does that mean volume? Like, it's bigger than the TV.
But that's how they play. That's how they play, and they, and they got players that don't have name recognition, but they're coming with one idea: we're going to play together, and we're going to play hard, and we're going to give ourselves a chance to win.
Crazy when you think of the size of that country. It's like,
I'm telling you, man, they love it over there. They love it, and everything that you said is the culture of how they play.
Yeah.
I used to tell the guy, I was in the league. I'm like, boys, they don't pay enough to work this hard. You guys are fucking. You guys got to talk to your agents here. What? Like, I got to run the stairs again? Fuck me. Butsy, we're gonna put you. Thank you very much. We got a couple more things. We're gonna put you on the spot. Me and Updog through our sponsor DraftKings. We took it on the chin last year. Does Canada get it done? Is this the year? Are we going to get it done on home soil? What's your gut feeling? I know it's not really a long shot, but is this the year we get the gold back?
Yes.
Attaboy.
I love it.
Attaboy.
Yes.
I like that's confident. Yes.
The Russians, the reason I say that, the Russian O2 group has been a really good group, but there's just, Sergei Zubov is coaching them. I love Sergei, but he doesn't know the tournament. And I just see them as a team that's capable, but, I think they're not there. I think, honestly, I think that I think we could see the same medalists as we did last year, USA, Canada, and Finland. I think the Russians will be one of the last 4 teams standing. Sweden will be tight and they'll be a good team. They don't have a really offensive flair to them, but I think Canada, Gooley and Power, the forward group. One of the things that Canada's team, and every year is different. Every team, Scotty, you think about your team in Czech, and then you think about your team in Halifax. Different players form different ways. This forward group, and you talk about Mason McTavish, Shane, they got edge. It's McTavish, it's Jake Neighbors, it's Ridley Gray, it's Elliot Desnoyers.
I love it.
They got an edge to their game. Yeah, they got edge. Yeah, oh yeah.
Oh, and good. So we're in for some good TV.
Mike Dick, one of the assistant coaches, he had a smile ear to ear the other day. He says, we can play fast, we can play skilled, we can play hard, and we can play with an edge. He goes, any way you want to play. And when the coach has a smile,
you're giving me goosebumps here. You're giving me goosebumps.
Yeah. We love it.
That's Canadian hockey right there.
Yeah. Goaltending will be good. I think Dylan Garant, the Kamloops Blazers goalie, Scotty, will be the guy. I do. Coase is a real top-end talent, but Garant's just like this. He's just steady.
Yeah.
Just steady across the I think like Devin Levi last year that played great, I think Dylan will come in and be the goalie. That's just my view today. But I think Canada – listen, I do bracketology on December 24th, and, Canada, I'll have them winning the gold.
Love it. You got me fired up. I can't wait for my Crown Royal and Diet Coke on. When they play Boxing Day, is that the first game? That's always
Boxing Day against Czech Republic.
I'll be watching with my old man. Butsy, thank you. You're great at this. Talk to us about your podcast. You got it with my boy, or our boy, Cooley. Cool Button Podcast. You guys are doing a great job. Cools, man. That guy's high octane, isn't he?
Yeah, I don't get a chance to talk.
That's crazy because you're a good talker too. That's quite impressive.
They just put me up in a little corner with my face, and I nod or I put up my hand. No, Shane. I mean, he is high octane, right? And I get all kinds of comments from people. Go, where does he get that energy from? Like, where does he get that energy from? He is, and he's so wired into the game. He really is, watching everything. He always jokes. I joke with different people at the hockey ops and everything. I said, it's a good thing you have Steve, running who should be suspended, new rule suggestions, how the salary cap should run. I mean, but he's passionate, right? You see that. So, you guys are doing a phenomenal job. I think there's 2 things. There's 2 things that I think are really come across with you guys and you try to replicate. Have fun, right? And you know what? Share your experiences. Like, the experiences that you guys have are real. And the number of people that have had what you have, it's like minuscule. It's so small. And so when you can take people to the dressing room, the locker room, onto the ice, junior, talking about Pronger, trying to guide Ryan Shannon, those are beautiful things. And trust me, and I just said, Scotty, this from the time we spent together up at TSN, just share those. I mean, take people to the places that they hear about, that they've never been and never will be.
Of course.
Yeah, Butts, you guys, you do a great job. I've always been a fan of yours. I got to ask you, I always ask you, pickleball. How's the game? Me and Uppy. Uppy doesn't play. Uppy's a busy guy, right? He's got a beautiful baby girl. He's running this business. He's running 4 other business. I play Mondays and Tuesdays. My game's getting decent. How's your game?
It's good.
Yeah.
My game's good.
We gotta play. We got to play.
We're going to. You count on it. We're going to play. I told the guys up in Edmonton, Jason Greger and Strudwick. I said we're going to have to do some kind of a charity deal. Right?
We should.
We could have a lot of fun. So, but it's you know what? My wife played for a lot of years, and she kept asking me to play, and I was like, pickleball, really, pickleball, right? Like, are you kidding me? And then we ended up in the pandemic, and we ended up and so what did I start doing? Playing pickleball. Now I love it, and we play with a great group of guys and gals, good players. We get into tournaments. We just had an ugly Christmas sweater tournament
Nice.
on the weekend, which is 32 people. It was really a lot of fun. I didn't win that one. I hadn't played in about 2 weeks, so I was a little rusty. Got my game going later on, but it was a little too little, too late. But I love playing. We play indoors. You got the opportunity to play outdoors all the time. I wish I had that opportunity.
What's your game like, Butsy? What type of player are you?
How's your dink game? Are you good at the net? Are you good at the net?
I am.
Oh,
'Cause you have to
crafty.
be.
Crafty.
I'm telling you what, Obi's wingspan right now and his soft, delicate touch, there's not much getting by him. I'm telling you. I haven't played in a while, but I've watched. I came over with a beer with Big Scott, my old man, a couple of weeks ago, and my dad's like, holy fuck. Obi's moves on the court like pretty well. There's nothing getting down the line on this guy, and he's got this shot now. I'm gonna not spoil his game on but he can angle his racket and throw one like directly across the court like Dink style that no one's getting, because you think he's gonna hit it at you hard, and it just is a direct like little 90-degree shot down the line. So I think
that's the short Dink game, right? And so what you got to do is you got to keep the ball maybe down to his left a little bit and dink it down, because the good players are just waiting for that little opening, and when they get the opening, it's over.
It's over.
That's what makes the Dink game so good, because you can be playing at the net and you can be playing 7, 8, 9, 10 rallies, and then all of a sudden it opens up and it's over, right? So you got to play there.
The dink game is where you separate the real players from just the guys that pretend they're players. You gotta have the patience to stay in the dink. You gotta have the patience to do it.
That's true. That's true.
I got to be quiet here, okay? So because my wife's working in the other room, right? So we play together at certain times, right? But she's got a tennis background and she wants to play the power game. So when we get against good players, I'm trying to tell her, like, they just hit it back. It's not hard. Play the soft game. Play the short game. But I'm not really one to give her advice because she doesn't want to hear it from me.
No, I used to play with the girl I was dating, the Beanie. I'm like, you got to get to the net. You got to get to the net. Like, you can't stand back there,
and just
Beanie.
do
like,
top
get
spin
to the
overhands.
net.
It doesn't work.
You got to get to the net in pickleball. No matter what your skill level is, you got to get to the net.
You do.
All right, well,
That's where
Butsy,
the game is won and lost.
that's very true.
Butsy, you're a beauty, man. We appreciate this. Everything you do for the game. You got great outside.
It's a join you guys, and anytime. Ring me. I always enjoy exchanging ideas, thoughts, and just keep her going. Keep her going. Your experiences were magnificent, and to share those perspectives, people love hearing them.
And keep that coolie in check for me, would you? Keep that coolie in check.
Yeah, you know what? I might have to use a little pronger. And get that
He hates the cross checks. Give him a couple cross checks for me.
Yeah,
there we go.
Don't let him grab those chicken wings before you.
Up, dog. DraftKings, baby. Christmas is here. It's the season of giving, And these people at DraftKings, they love to fucking shell out the cash if you know what you're betting.
Jingle bell, jingle bell. Got the jingle bells right here.
You do. That's a big old jingle bell.
Yeah, well, it is that time. Hopefully Santa's bringing a big bag of cash for us and for our listeners, because this the season, football fans. DraftKings, your official daily fantasy partner of the NFL, is giving you the shot to stuff your stockings, not your sockings, with big cash prizes. This Christmas week, new customers can play free for millions with their first deposit. This gift sure beats the tube socks and underwear we all remember unwrapping as a kid.
Up, dog. When Canada wins the World Juniors, we will stuff our stockings with cash from DraftKings, baby. Playing daily fantasy football is simple. Just pick your lineup of NFL stars while staying under the salary cap and score enough points to bring home cash. And with the free shot at millions of dollars in total prizes. Taking in the NFL action this week will certainly be jolly. DraftKings is safe, secure, and reliable. And best of all, you can just deposit and withdraw your cash whenever you want.
Download the DraftKings app now and use promo code CurfewKings to play free for millions. That's right. Enter promo code
CurfewKings,
baby, to get a free shot at millions in total prizes with your first deposit. Don't miss out on this Christmas treat. Download DraftKings and play the official daily fantasy partner of the NFL. Minimum $5 deposit required. Eligible restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com for details.
Ho, ho, ho. Up, dog.
OB.
Fuck, buddy.
Good show.
Great show. It's always fun having you in the studio here.
How fun is that, Butsy?
Great guy. Great
Isn't he?
guy. He's a beauty. Him and Cooley, they have a great chemistry. They've been buddies for a long time. Their podcast, check it out. Cool Button Podcast. They are pumping them out. They are already at like 22 episodes. I'm like,
By
they
the
do
way,
like 2 a week.
you said they're like good team. I feel he's just a good team guy no matter what.
Butsy or Cooley? Both.
Well, both, but Butsy and played the game, managed the game. You know, he's got an eye for talent, but he knows how to get the best out of his group, his team. That's the type of guy he is.
Yeah, I would have liked to have him as a GM. I think he would have been a good, solid, just, leave the boys
Can't wait to
alone.
take him
let
down
them
in
play.
pickleball.
Pickleball is going down. We got to
Right.
get you back out there in the new year.
I'm ready.
Updog, I love having you in the studio, buddy. I'm glad you made her safe and sound from Aspen. Princey, World Juniors coming up. Are you fired up? No Flames hockey for a few days. You going to be okay up there? What are you going to do?
Oh, boys, Monday night, I had no idea what to do with myself. I was confused. I was like Ricky Bobby with my hands. Like, what am I supposed to do with myself? So, yeah, boys, the Flames will get through it. It sounds like they're okay. Everybody's going to get through it. But, yeah, World Juniors, I'm fired up because it's a good time. It's up in Alberta. We're not having these 4 a.m. Russia games. So I'll have some good prime time television and some more content for Missin Curfew.
Fuck, Red Deer is only up the street from Airdrie,
It's the
bud.
fucking taint. What's the taint called? Red Deer?
Right
Between Edmonton and Calgary?
That's the taint, baby.
It is, yeah.
I guess
Hour
the
and a
real
half.
question is, Updog, how much are we putting on DraftKings Canada to win the fucking... Let's take it out of the Missin Curfew Fund. Do we have any money in there?
We'll see.
We're taking Canada hard. We got no Americans. Well, you two guys, Binger and Maxi, you want to bet something?
I'll
Binger?
put in a hey.
Whoa, wow. Maxi says, bring it
Fighting
on.
words. Good thing there's
Let's
glass
go
in between.
USA. He looks
Good thing
like
there's
fucking...
glass between us and them.
I thought I was in the Miracle movie there for a
It'd be
second.
on.
Let's go USA.
Although they got all the sticks.
All right, what are we going to bet? We'll talk about it. It's going to be some kind of alcoholic beverage, though, Binger, all right? How's the knee feeling, Binger? Ooh, yeah. I like that Binger's got the brace outside the knee.
Yeah, I know.
So the chicks know, hey, I fucked
He
up
gets
my knee
his
surfing.
sympathy kills. That's what he's going for.
Hey, as we said, it kills a kill, buddy. It kills a fucking kill. Updog, I love you, Princey. Thank you as always. We got a little Christmas special coming at you next week, Updog, and then me and you are going to hit the road, but we will get to that. Always a pleasure, my friend. Binger, Maxi, Hall Pass Media. That was Missin Curfew.
We out.